Wah.
I got it before it went live.
That's good. Yeah, I was like, Spaz, at least wait till the 8-second mark.
That was actually
Jeez.
me that made that sound.
No, I know. I'm talking about him and his foul mouth. Hey, Spaz. Oregon softball's killing it. Unlike the men.
Hey, we still got a chat. We host a regional next weekend.
Blah, 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 blah. That's why we can't have nice things as Duck fans. What is going on, everyone? That's my rant about Oregon baseball. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome into the After Dark show right here on the Voice of College Football. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Magically well. How are you doing tonight, Ben?
Well, we already talked about it. I can't feel my left hand.
Yep.
Someone's going to hear that and take that out of context.
Ben was
Yeah, someone's going to take that
much.
really out of context.
No, we get no. It's like, he
All
wasn't
right.
doing that.
Show's over. We'll start it up again. We'll
Ben's
reboot
got
and
lip
try-
wrist.
reboot and try again. Well, first and foremost, as we noted in the backstage, happy Memorial Day, everyone, to all those who have family members or know people that gave everything they had for the service of the country. And as we were talking about too, is any veterans in general, because I think it's always important. There's only a few days a year you get to think about it, so always appreciate all the former or current veterans also. Spaz, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing better here in a minute, maybe. Hoping.
Maybe. Well, you survived 4.5 hours last night with me, so
Yeah. Look, that was long.
yeah, 30 minutes into that show, I didn't know if it was going to get 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it was like 4.5 hours. I'm like, okay, we got to end this.
Yeah, you were passing out at the desk.
Yes, I was.
Oh, geez.
Yes, I
He was passing out in his seahorse.
Dude, don't let yourself do that, man.
It happens. How you doing, Jackson?
Doing fantastic.
Now
I know it's storming in Bama, but I'm not letting it stop me from the shades and getting prepared to get wasted away again in Margaritaville.
Well, then, quickly, as usual, as is, I guess, typical, one by one.
Where's the
Jackson,
other
where can people stalk you and then Spaz?
Well, they can stalk me on the 39th edition of Crimson Tide Live, where Jeffrey had only taught sports. Coach Burtz and myself went on for today instead of tomorrow, because tomorrow being Memorial Day, so we decided to move it up to today. And we talked a little bit about the recruiting updates, what the SEC conference schedule going to 9 games could mean for Alabama if we do go there. And so much more on the 39th edition of Crimson Tide Live. And I had my 71st episode of the Jacksonian, where I had on Justin Julka from the Bucky Report, where we talked a lot about the Wisconsin Badgers and much, much more. And now you can check me out on not only on Alabama The Voice College Football, Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but also on the Alabama Call-In Show, where Jeffrey and I take your calls, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, you can check me out on my personal channel, Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 329 subs away from the magic number 1,000. I need all the help I can get. As for Alabama The Voice College Football, we are 11 subs away from 2,600, but we are 411 away from 3,000. Yeah, Alabama is having a bad year. Texas is better, but that doesn't mean that Texas and Oklahoma should be ahead of Alabama and the SEC subscribers. We got to catch up to them, and we'll need all the help we can get. So if you don't like Texas and Oklahoma, you won't put them in their place. Like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to Alabama The Voice College Football so you never miss no video whatsoever. And if you love who I've got on the Jacksonian or on Alabama The Voice College Football and much more, including my once a week calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter and Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543-908. Spaz, where can people stalk you online?
Just about Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Put my shit up there. I don't know where.
It's right there. It's right there, Spaz. Remember?
Yeah, right there somewhere.
God damn it, Spaz.
Yeah. It's all Ben's fault. Get me up too late last night.
Basketball. Jason. I expect better from Jason here.
You can check out Spaz at Sean_SpazDrag on @/Twitter and on Rocky Classic on Instagram. And you can check him out on Exploring with Ben and Sam's last night's edition and on Oregon at the Voice College.
Don't watch last night's edition.
Why did the bad dogs show up?
Maybe like the first hour, but after that,
it went to shit.
Just delete it. Yeah.
Oh God. Sounds like I need to watch it. Like
No.
No,
I highly do not recommend that.
Oh, come on. I want to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, as they say, come on, feel the noise. Ben, what's the magic you've got cooking up this week?
Well, not much. Me and Spaz will be live Wednesday night for the Oregon show. And we will be... Yeah, that's about it. Or Exploring Ben and Sam right here on YouTube. Go for it if you want. Be doing another video this week at some point.
Well, and you got other magic cooking on the Voice College Football website. You got some magic, man. What is it?
Everyone should check out the Voice of College Football website, and you can get all the news stories and information from some of your favorite hosts and writers over there, and all the updates that you can desire about your team and conference right there on the voiceofcollegefootball.com.
There we go. And it has all your favorite hosts, your favorite writers. Now let's see. Yeah, note to self. I got to make sure that we got to make sure to add you on the writers list because you are a writer now. Come on. Yeah,
Who would have thought? I'm a writer.
Huh? Well, we got all your favorite hosts all right here at the Voice College Football. From the Indiana channel, the Michigan channel, Alabama channel, Ohio State, Oklahoma, the main channel, all right here. Everyone. Ruby J. family bringing that magic behind the scenes on College Game Day and on Wednesdays on Ole Miss Live with Leanne Herring and Mark Rogers. 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You got the Tylers bringing that magic on Florida at the Voice College Football. TJ, the operations manager, making things go round on the Voice College Football, bringing that magic on the Michigan College show and on Wolverines Live with John D'Animo. And there's so much more magic from each and every one of these hosts. And you got the show lineup, the show directory, all the shows, all right here. Although the schedule's a little different due to Memorial Day, but that's okay. No worries there. And there's the list of channels. If your favorite team is not on here, don't worry. There will be hosts added to your favorite team that's not on this list. And the channel will be added. I can promise you that. And there's the forum discussions of your favorite teams and your favorite conferences from the Power Four, all right there on the Voice College Football. And you got the news articles, including Matt Zemmett's take on Rich Rod having his second go-around. And where's Ben's article? Let's find it. There it is. There it is. Ben making that magic where he's talking about the lack of experience at quarterback being a major talking point for the 2025 season. Go all right there on the Voice College Football website. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. And no worries, I'm going to put that article in the chat from our friend Ben.
There you go. Do we have any other quick business we got to get to?
Oh, absolutely. We got to tell everybody how you can become a Patreon member. Oh, here we go. For $2.99 a month, you can become an all-conference member for the Voice College Football, where you'll get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and in the live chat, and you get a custom emoji in the live chat and the comments. You get a member shout-out, member-only polls. $4.99 a month, you can become an All-American member, where you get a VIP hangout session with Bart Rogers. And priority replies to comments. $9.99 a month. You can become a Heisman member where you can give out content requests of any kind, and neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor bad weather of any kind will be fulfilled. Your content request will be fulfilled, and bad weather will not put a stop to your request being fulfilled. And you can be on a panel discussion with Ben and friends, all right here, Sunday nights on The Voice College Football on CFB After Dark, where it gets wild, 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 and it's a fun ride. $19.99 a month. You can become a Hall of Fame member where you get discounted merch. And for $99.99 a month, you can sign in to VOCFB Bets, where you get VIP access to the top expert pits. And they are from Mark Rogers, right here at The Voice College Football. Steve Merrill from Wager Talk, who comes in for the under the radar pick of the week during the regular season, every week during the college football season. Steve Dace from the Steve Dace Show on Blaze TV and on the Michigan Podcast. And Matt Zimick from Trojans Wire, USC at The Voice College Football, and The Voice College Football, and College Sports Wire, bringing that magic right here on The Voice College Football.
Damn right.
You got that right. You damn
And there
right.
will be no sweeps in basketball in the conference finals.
Please let there be a sweep on the Nets. I want the Pacers to win. I'm
Nope,
sick of
Knicks
you.
just won game 3.
Ah, damn it.
That is true, George. Maybe we'll see, George.
Like I
I'm
said,
glad you're
there'll be no sweeps.
Thank you for the update, Spash. For once, no one's gonna say GD it to you. You get a thank you.
I haven't even gotten there yet.
Sometimes you gotta be sweet to Spaz, and he'll give you updates. Isn't that right, Spaz?
That's right.
Oh, I have to create a new banner actually. Let me 2 seconds here. This was a segment on the Oregon
I got
show.
nothing against the Nets. It's just ESPN talks about them so much. Like I just don't get too crazy. Like I would be having the same thing with the Lakers. I've got nothing personal against the Nets.
All right, we're out of banner. We're out of banner space, so I can't create a new banner. That's okay. This is a segment that we have on the Oregon show normally, but we're gonna give it to you tonight, Jackson.
Oh,
As
wow.
before we get into the topic, what we're calling this segment is ranting with Jackson
Oh, wow.
about something we talked about a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 shows ago, and it's only gotten more, I guess, proven that it's happening. So Jackson, you've been very hot on this week. So,
Well, I mean, like Lincoln Riley, he's kind of been on my shit list this week. And same with Jen Cohen. And I get it. You want to make your schedule easier by not having Notre Dame, like whatever. But here's the thing, though. You're destroying something that's been created since 1926, before the Great Depression. If you're doing this, you're getting rid of something that's sacred to college football. And let me tell you something, Lincoln. Going to Notre Dame is not your problem. That's not the problem here. You still have to go to Purdue on week 3. You have to go to Indiana at some point in this decade. Going to Notre Dame is not your issue. You chose to leave the Pac-12 for the Big Ten. And that's
you
Notre
still got to
Dame.
come to Eugene in October.
well,
Yeah,
and now, hold on. In all fairness, because I have seen this point come up, because when Oklahoma was leaving to go to the SEC, Riley went to USC, and a lot of us said it's to avoid playing the SEC. Well, USC had basically already set that they were going to go to the Big Ten, and probably didn't even tell Riley.
Oh,
So then he got there and went, well, shit, I mean, so in a way, Riley kind of got screwed, I think, behind the scenes a little bit too. But yes,
Well, Lincoln Riley's a bitch. I mean, it's like he just is. It's like he don't want to get his ass handed to him, And he's sitting there going, "Oh well, this will help USC go to playoffs." No, it's not. No. Getting rid of Notre Dame is not automatically going to help you because you have to beat every one of your teams on your schedule, or at least most of them. You cannot be pissing away games against Maryland, pissing away games against Minnesota, pissing games away against Michigan or Penn State, and then for people to go, cut me slack. I've been going through a lot lately. I'm going to cry with mascara on my cheeks and drink a bunch of wine. Like, no. You don't get to go cut me slack. I'm crying.
This
you got to go 10-2.
This is not just a thing with this specific is the Notre Dame USC thing. And I think no matter what, if you don't even care about either those teams or that rivalry, whatever, it's about college football as a whole in the sense of losing these rivalries with all the realignment. Like for the Voice of College Football on X asked, what's the biggest issue with college football lately or in the last decade? And had options like NIL, recruiting, whatever. And I put it was realignment. I picked realignment because that really destroyed a lot of just the familiarity that everyone had with college football, the regionality and just the history of it. It really started destroying it. So
that's fair, Tim. Where Tim Prangley of USC LAFB mentions USC did try to extend to a season. That's fair. I'm just like, at this point, keep the rivalry at all costs. Because I remember looking at the USC Notre Dame rivalry in 1959. That was the last time USC Notre Dame was played in November in South Bend, Indiana. Since then, USC was like, we'll still play on Thanksgiving week or at the end of the season for the even number years. But why don't we just play in mid-October when we play in South Bend? Now it's that's the thing I remember. And it's been this way since the year of 1961 when Gunsmoke was one of the top 5 shows in all of television. But yes. And the fact of the matter is I want, if USC does get rid of Notre Dame and USC's going to the playoffs every year because of it, well then hell, Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley are geniuses. But if they get rid of this game and there's no changes, you're going 7-5 or 8-4. That's not what USC hired you for. That's not what you were hired for. You were there to be in the playoffs. You were hired to win playoff games for the USC Trojans. That's what you were hired to do.
And I think that's been part of it. And I see what Tim's saying. There's no benefit to doing a long-term deal with how college football changes. But it is interesting. It's just I've heard that point. I get that point. It's like, well, we could remove Notre Dame and we can maybe get an extra win. And that'll be beneficial. But you're also getting rid of a rivalry. And I get it. Sid Irish is going back and forth, of course, about who's to blame for whatever.
I don't care who's to blame. Both.
I know. But Cohen said that live a year ago, where she did that one meeting, that one press conference, and I watched it myself personally. I didn't just hear what people said. Sure. Very avoiding of committal to renewing basically the scheduling for the rivalry. So very non-committal to it. So it seems like it's been in the works for a little bit on the USC side to go, you know what? But who knows?
I'm just kind of like, if USC Notre Dame's week 1, it's like, even though it's a little unconventional for it to be on week 1 in the even number years, I'm just like, whatever it takes to keep Notre Dame USC on an annual basis, fuck it. I want it to stay on an annual basis.
Language, Jackson. Jesus.
I should have warned Yeah, it's not going to be Ben using the F bombs. Not that it's me because like
It's it will happen. It will happen eventually.
I've had my hissy. This is second. I've kind of had my hissy fit about this game taken away because it's like it may. I want to see Notre Dame join the Big Ten if it means this game is brought back. But I also want to Michigan, Notre Dame, Michigan State. No, he's got Coca-Cola, I believe. Like
I do not have a bottle.
No, he's actually about you, Jackson.
Yeah. Are you drinking,
No.
Jackson?
No, I have coffee.
Allegedly. It looks like whiskey drink.
No, the last time I drank whiskey was in September 2nd of 2018. I haven't drank.
Well, with the USC Notre Dame rivalry, like we said, you were saying about the Big Ten, and that's been something Sid Irish knows all about this. Especially, it's heavily talked about on the Always Irish show. It does seem like this is kind of one of those final moves to like squeeze Notre Dame into a conference. As you remove USC from their schedule, now Notre Dame's going to have to look for someone else to play every year. And it seems like the conferences are kind of squeezing in on them to like make them do something. And I don't think Notre Dame really wants to get into ACC land like that permanently. No. But now they're getting screwed because they signed a deal with the ACC about the Clemson, Florida State, Miami, yearly thing. So Notre Dame kind of screwed themselves too. Also,
I think number two, also we're seeing like NBC put the Notre Dame, North Carolina State on the Peacock app, and you're not seeing the same thing where it's like if you see Notre Dame, Purdue on, they're not putting Notre Dame, Purdue only on the Peacock app. They're putting like Notre Dame, North Carolina State on the Peacock app because like I think NBC deep down wants Notre Dame join the Big Ten. And Tim, for my apologies for you seeing me throw my little bitch fit about Notre Dame USC. Yeah. It's like Austin had to put up with my bitch fit. You guys have to having to put up with it. In order to make up for it, I would like to tell everybody to check out Tim on the magic that he's creating on the USC LAFB channel, where he takes your calls Wednesday nights on the Conquest Call-In Show. And that's not all. Check out Matt Zimick, Casey Casliner, and Terrence Holton. And there's another guy on USC at The Voice College Football, but I'll get to him. Ethan Inman. I usually do not go for TMZ, but when I do, I prefer Ethan Inman from USC Primetime Live Wednesday night. He's my go-to from TMZ. Know why? Because he's got some go-to takes on USC at The Voice College Football with Matt Zimick. And, of course, the Coliseum Chronicles with Casey Casliner and Terrence Holton. And also Notre Dame people, since you've also had to hear me throw my hissy fit, I'm going to tell all of you to check out Brendan and Patrick Pravetti on Notre Dame Live Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Tim, we miss you. Come join us. I miss flicking shit at your spoiled children.
Yeah, because there might be a certain coach from that team that's on this hot list. It might be. Maybe.
Yeah, we gotta get you on.
Maybe. Crap, I had another thought in my head. Now I can't think of what it was. We were talking rivalries that. Oh God, what was it? Now I don't know. Oh.
Now Tim's a professional. He won't.
What can we, Spaz, can we not have nice things around here with the college football playoff unanimously deciding to redo the seeding purposes to basically go with the rankings? Can we not have nice things as Oregon? Can we not have nice things as Oregon fans, please? Why?
No, they just want to make us suffer even more from last year.
We don't have to go into deep depths of it, but yeah. So everyone, the college football playoff committee has unanimously decided to redo the seeding purposes and basically go with the straight ranking system. basically off of what the polling is, basically.
Basically, we were played
Kill me.
nobody last year.
Yeah, I don't know who we would have played exactly, but yeah, kill me. We wouldn't have played Ohio State first. But anyways, I'm not saying we would have gone further than Ohio State, but yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we would have. We would have won the first round matchup at least.
Well, no, I said we would have probably hit Ohio State, and then we probably would have lost. But I'm saying we would have maybe won a game or two against other opponents.
Yeah, I think I've got that link somewhere. Let me help find it for you.
It changes again in 26 or in 27. You mean 26, 27?
Yeah, I'm just
Probably.
like,
Now it just goes to a bigger tournament.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because now they're expanding again. Too.
yeah, I'm
They're
kind of
pushing
like,
again.
just stick with something at this point. Like, I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, can we not have like like if you did this, okay, you did this, change the seating, but don't expand again then too. Like on top of it, it's like, come on, there was a break here.
We already knew they were going to expand.
I know, but I can't keep up with it. So they're doing it so quickly. It's like, why?
Here we go. So this is what the playoff field would have looked like if the CFP went to a straight seeding model. This is the report from Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports. So we see Notre Dame, Clemson, which I gotta say that would have been fun. Ohio State, Arizona State looks great. Tennessee, SMU. Oh God, I wish SMU would have played Tennessee. Like Indiana, Boise State. That's good. That's a good one.
That would have been an interesting matchup.
And I was hearing people saying like, "Oh well, you shouldn't have like the one seed." Where it's like, "Oh, the one seed got screwed, 2 seed got screwed." Da 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 da. What if like the 1 seed is winning it all? Like I kind of feel like the topic of the top seeds are screwed changes. Because like you don't ever hear people say that in the NFL or NBA or the MLB if the 1 seed loses. It's like but if we're seeing that every year in college football, then okay.
I don't think we're ever going to have a perfect system, Trojan fight. That's kind of the whole problem. Is like
That is the thing, is like they're trying to find a perfect system. I don't like it. I think it should be at 4 teams or 8 teams, or we should have a +1 system. I don't like 12 teams, honestly, but we should at least stick with something and not try to change something every year. I think this whole trying to change everything every year, that's going to piss several people off. That I can guarantee you.
Hi, Clint.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Uh,
If Oregon State's going to win, I'm going to cry like a baby, just so you know. Probably going to have my ice cream.
Reese, yes.
What's up, Reese? Bless you.
Thank you. The all right. That's enough ranting and raving. Let's get in here and piss off some fan bases because our coaches are going to get fired. Let's do it.
There we go.
This show was 2025 and beyond. So we can also, if you want to, include a coach, say, who needs to have a good season this year to avoid being on the hot seat next year, the following year in 26, if you want. You don't have to go too in depth with that potentially, but I think there's the obvious people that we know of right now that need to have a very positive season this year, or they're definitely. We're not saying they're going to get fired, but it's going to be uncomfortable in the office. Let's put it that way.
Well,
I said Irish. He goes right after. Oh, of course, Irish fans go right after Brian Kelly.
Oh yeah, if LSU's going 9-3 or worse, then it's vote of confidence time. Like 9-3, 8-4, it's vote of confidence time to discuss whether he does return for 2026 or not. If LSU's going 7-5 or 6-6, then it's firing time, possibly.
I think the problem with Kelly is that you had Jaden Daniels, you wasted that with a terrible defense. Then now and now your defense is taking a little step forward, but the offense has kind of regressed. LSU has ambitions of SEC titles at least, or at least competing for SEC titles, and he's never done it yet. And that's what he went. He said, I can't recruit at Notre Dame. I can do better at LSU. And he has failed to achieve and deliver on those things.
I just got to say one thing. Charles Barkley just stole my gimmick.
How dare he?
They're on national TV. We're on a national podcast. And he's on national TV having food brought to his desk.
Oh, that's right, because Spaz always has dinner served during the shows. He's always getting food brought to him.
So I said, Barkley's stealing my gimmick. He's eating on TV.
That's a lawsuit.
Oh, God.
Good luck. But yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just sue him for like $100. He'll probably just literally send you a check.
Right?
And that go away.
Now that sent me an autograph picture.
That's worth more than 100 probably. So hey, there you go. James Franklin is up there. I saw some other people. I don't want to skip on from or not James Franklin. Sorry, I read a message. Brian Kelly. I saw another person up there, but Brian Kelly is he's had such an interesting stint at LSU, from the fake Southern accent to
the weird ass dance.
the dances.
He thinks he's a kid. Like that dance meme or that GIF that screams "Hello, fellow kids."
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah,
Very creepy.
We don't have any more. Mark deleted them out of his StreamYard, so they are gone. They are all gone, unfortunately.
Mark did not like those.
After all that work Tim spent getting them.
Yeah.
Was that a Prangley move?
Most of them, yes.
I think Tim, are you still in chat? Was that you that put out the Brian Kelly GIF? Because we miss it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he uploaded most of those. They were odd, to say the least, and scary. Yes, they were pretty creepy.
It was so funny. Like, I like the duck sound effect. I miss it so much. Whack.
Yeah, is Brian Kelly recruiting better talent at LSU than what Marcus Freeman's doing in Notre Dame? Notre Dame's doing pretty good right now.
That's a yes.
There it is. No comment.
That's a yeah. Oh, it was you, Ben. Oh,
it was not. It was not me. I do not spend that much time looking at Brian Kelly. What is the 2026 recruiting rankings? Because I have a feeling that Notre Dame and LSU are about the same, but I think Notre Dame's probably above LSU.
Well, Notre Dame's got better years ahead of them. I mean, yeah, LSU's got more talent, but that doesn't really mean anything if you can't get to the playoffs. It's like Brian Kelly's just overrated.
And you lose to USC. Yikes.
And he chokes his chicken on a game that he shouldn't lose. And he has LSU flexing about smacking a depleted Purdue team. And they flex on, oh, we beat Baylor. Oh, we beat Wisconsin. That's not you're acting like you beat Russell Wilson, Wisconsin. You beat
Ben's one arm because he choked his chicken.
God damn it, Spaz. I mean, come on, Spaz.
I'm like watching my mouth tonight too. He's Jackson, filthy sailor. God damn. Damn it. There it is. Damn it. And naturally rolled out.
Got him.
Yes. Oh, that too. Yeah. Brian
Yes.
Kelly has never won their opening game.
Oh, they'll be foaming at the mouth mad. They'll be foaming at the mouth mad if LSU loses to Clemson in week 1. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it all along. Now that I see the shirt, I knew it. Jackson, it's time to unleash your hidden identity. Tell the world we all know you are the ghost of Paul Bear Bryant.
My head. Okay.
No,
I
you're
think-
the reincarnation. Excuse me.
There you go. There you go. I was like,
Are you sure you're
Wait.
not like? You sure you're 100% sober tonight, Spaz? Because I'm no ghost.
No comment. No.
That's a
It-
yes.
In that Bear Bryant checkered shirt there, you're definitely the
Oh, that's my work shirt.
reincarnation.
That's my work shirt for Crimson Tide Live usually. So
At least somebody shows up in color.
there you go. I mean, I
I
put on,
occasionally will wear my Oregon gear.
I, at least I'm representing.
there you go.
Hey, mine too. I represent every show right there.
Sid Irish Bear Bryant passed away on January 26, 1983. That was also the death date of Kobe Bryant in 2020. He passed away on that day. I believe there's wow.
The
They only
83 Bear Bryant passed in 83. God,
Yeah, it seems
Uh-huh.
long. I thought it was like late 80s.
I thought it
so
was
that's why I
in
was like,
90. Jesus.
No.
was
It
a
was a
while
few
ago.
weeks after he retired from coaching, so he was just
Oh
like,
no, yeah, it was, huh?
hey, I mean, not working killed him.
Yep.
That's what happens to people. I'm telling you, if you know people that are hard workers and they're like late 70s, early 80s, especially early 80s, and they stop working, usually they don't know what to do with themselves at that point. You know,
That's what my mom was saying. Like, that's the exact same thing my mama says, Ben. Wow.
you don't know what to do with yourself. If you retire at like 70, at least you can kind of enjoy yourself. But if you work all the time until you're like 80 or something, all of a sudden you're like, what do I do now? Like,
So
you kind of lose mission, so to say.
I couldn't deal with retirement, to be honest. It's like that. It's a pain in the butt.
how about Prime?
Prime, really? Oh, okay. We're shooting big here. I have another coach we'll circle back to because the chat said it a lot. But Prime, really? Okay.
I mean, not that he's on a hot seat, but is he on a personal hot seat? If they go 8-4, 6-6, does he leave and take a job in the NFL?
Didn't he just do a contract extension again?
Yeah, but contract extensions don't mean squat.
Well, yeah, especially for an NFL team. I mean, the buyout, whatever they'll pay it. But he had a chance for the Cowboys this year. That went nowhere.
Right.
I don't know.
I think he's waiting for Atlanta to open.
Well, and something I remember from the 60 Minutes interview from 2022, when Coach Prime was asked if there was a Power 5 job opening, would you take it? And he said, I listen. Like, he didn't do any of that trying to avoid the question or next question or try to change subject. He was just being honest, which I'll be honest, I appreciate the heads up. Like, I don't like this dilly-dallying around of saying, oh, well, I love this place. It's my favorite place ever. I love you all. Now that's horse dung. That's horse dung. I
Right.
guarantee you, if he's asked that question on the Joel Klatt show or Josh Pate, somebody's asking, would you take an SEC job, Big Ten job, or an NFL job? He's going to say the exact same thing they said on 60 Minutes in 2022. I'll listen.
And I and it's a good, like I said, it's Colorado. 7-6 isn't bad or whatever. And I agree. One thing is without his kids there now, Shedeur and Shiloh are gone. He did stay at Colorado, but also Colorado, if he left too, it would be on his own accord because he has made Colorado so much money over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Just the publicity and the filling the stands for the games. And he has made Colorado so much money. I mean, remember, Colorado was the doormat of the Pac-12. And even his first year, they were still the doormat to a degree, but he was raking in money for Colorado. So I think when he leaves, it'll be kind of on his own accord.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado ain't pushing him out. I don't think so.
No, Colorado's happy with him. They're happy with him as a pig in mud.
Yeah, just the benefit, the monetary value that he has brought to Colorado outweighs any of the losses that they have.
Ben, I believe we've got some hot seat coaches in the Big 12, though. They are Scott Satterfield. I suspect that, oh, yeah. He slots. Mike Gundy, I think, could be on the hot seat.
Let's start with Gundy because last year they were tied for favorites to take the Big 12 conference. They didn't win a single game.
They paid themselves.
Yeah. Mike Gundy goes through a contract restructuring, basically to lower his buyout and payment. Now, Mike Gundy, if he steps down, he'll basically get gently forced out and he'll resign. They're not going to fire him, I think, because he's been there so long. He's like the Bill Snyder for Oklahoma State, in a way, like for Kansas State was. He's that for Oklahoma State. So he's going to gently step down and go into some administration role or something like that. He's kind of one of those guys. He's not going to get fired, but yikes. Yeah, Mike Gundy, if he doesn't have a huge bounce back this year, his seat is pretty warm.
Yeah. Wolf.
When did Oklahoma State last win the Big 12? Was that Brandon Whedon's year? Or did they win the Big 12 that year?
They won the Big 12 in 2011. They smacked the crap out of Oklahoma.
That was Brandon Whedon, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They
had lost to Iowa State. That's
Yep.
what kept them out of the BCS.
Yep. And Sean McDonough threw out his puberty voice, but they came up short against Baylor in the 2021 Big 12 title game.
And in 2011, they bested the Andrew Luck Stanford team in the Fiesta Bowl, I believe it was.
Yes, the Fiesta Bowl. That's correct.
Yeah.
Because that was a week after I got my dog Bayer.
God, that was like a 38-35 or 38-34 game or something like that. It was a wild. It was a good game. It was a good game.
41-38.
41-30. I was like, it was a really close game. I remember the field goal to take it. But Mike Gundy has done so much for that university, but he's been there so long. Now he's made a bunch of drastic changes, but if it doesn't work, Mike Gundy's gonna get kind of that gentle. You gotta get you're out of the door, dude.
Well, and honestly, I kind of feel like Mike Gundy's people talk about Dabo Swinney being like that old man yelling at the clouds. I kind of think Mike Gundy fits that bill a little more.
A lot more?
Hell yeah.
They're very similar in certain ways.
I'm surprised Gundy wasn't fired after last season.
Well, that's why I said they restructured his contract and redid his buyout to lower it, and he took it. But yeah, he's not gonna get fired. Again, they're gonna gently nudge him out the door. Basically, they're gonna force him to resign because he's been there so long. He's just done so much for the university that I just don't think they're gonna be like total dicks to him.
What's he been there over
Since
20?
2005.
Yeah.
Since when?
2005.
Yeah, 20
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not just gonna fire him. He's gonna get like that gentle nudge. Like, all right, dude. You know. And I can respect that from a university. When you've dedicated that much time and effort into a program, I can appreciate that, you know. But yes, Jason. No team these days can afford a down period. But it's going to be a nice push out the door, so to say. Satterfield is just going to be straight fired. Then again, what is Cincinnati's expectations?
They want to make a bowl game, but I think they're going to want a little more than a bowl game over the next few years. And they're hoping that Satterfield will be like Luke Fickell and Brian Kelly. I don't think he's going to be that guy for them. Louisville was happy when he left them.
Yeah, Satterfield has been very up and down. I was going to say up and down, but that's fine. I mean, because last year, yes, they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They won 5 games. It's not like they were getting they got absolutely destroyed by Kansas State. Iowa State took them out pretty good. Oh well, they lost at home to West Virginia. Never mind. Yeah, Satterfield's done. I think he's going to be gone after this year, unless they go. I'd say if they go 7-5, I think they'll be okay. What is their schedule in 2025? What does that look like? Yeah, I don't think they're not going to get. They might go. Maybe they'll go bowling. Maybe. I'm looking at it right now. They have to start with Nebraska. That should be a loss.
Wow.
Should be a loss.
Crazy.
What?
I hope Nebraska beats them, honestly.
This guy, it won't show very well. Damn it!
F-bombs again. Come on, I'm the only one who hasn't said anything yet. How am I the only one who hasn't dropped an F-bomb yet?
This guy's showing this video last night of a cab ride they took home, and it's a driverless remote driver driving the car.
Oh no!
It's like an Uber. It's like an Uber, and it's literally it's like a remote arm is driving, and there's like no person in the car seat.
They've been talking about that for a few years, but they hadn't
I was
like authorized
what
it.
In the fuck? I would not be getting in that car. Yes, Dave, in Phoenix. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, in Arizona, that's where they've been testing it for a few years, but they kept wrecking like occasionally or something like that. That was years ago that they started doing that, but I didn't know they authorized it. That or someone's recycling video.
Night.
Well, that or they're recycling video too. That's not unheard of, where someone, posts something from like several years ago and acts like it's new. It's also, but yeah, I wouldn't get in that car. Satterfield is not going to be making it past this year. I don't think, unless he goes bowling and has a decent year, is competitive. Satterfield will be out, and some other school will pick him up to do something.
What about the coach at Baylor?
Aranda? No, Dave Aranda's fine. What are you talking about? Dave Aranda's.
He saved himself, but if Baylor goes 7-5, 6-6, he's back on that hot seat.
Yeah. If he takes a dip. Now, if they keep it like the 8 win level, I think he's fine. They recouped last year. They started out pretty rough. If I'm not mistaken, but then they recovered very nicely.
The first 6 weeks of the season are woof. They got Auburn coming to their backyard. They got to go to SMU. They got Arizona State coming to Waco. They got to go to Oklahoma State. And in week 6, they got Kansas State coming to Waco.
Yeah.
That's a wolf.
It's not a bad
Might be able to get David Koresh to help him. They come out from under the rubble.
That's a whole different topic there. Wow, just went out of line on that one. He's spaz. Even that took me a quick second. I was like, huh? Oh, yikes. Yikes.
Oh, shit.
That's a conspiracy theory if you want one.
Uh,
Tinfoil hats on everyone. Tinfoil hats.
the-
It's the segment of the show. Exactly.
I thought it was funny. It fit the bill.
It did. It was perfect, actually. Now, Dave Aranda, I think he's fine. He seems to be one of those. Now he's there, been at Baylor. He just seems to kind of fit Baylor. It's kind of like
Sharon Moore.
yeah. Okay. All right. I was gonna skip back to one, but I've got you guys. Your chats from earlier. We got those titles.
Honestly,
Sharon Moore is a good one. That is a good one. I was actually gonna bring up Sharon Moore as a potential, especially with all the ongoing crap surrounding the Michigan program.
You know what's funny, Ben? On the call-in show Jeffrey and I host on Thursday nights, we had a guy that's Ohio State guy that was like calling in saying Michigan's gonna get punched. June 6th is coming, and his college football is supposed to be ruined by Michigan. Bro looked broke. Like his brain got broke. Like by that whole stuff, and like, but anyway. I'm kind of like, at this point, either let me know what happens to Michigan or don't. Like, are they punched? Are they not punched? I don't care. I don't care. Stop keeping us waiting. Stop waiting for the slow news day. Stop doing that. Like, I hate it when the NCAA does that, when they do this horse dung of keeping us waiting for the news, for the slow news day to roll out the punishments. That's horse dung.
What do you mean there won't be a hot seat at 6 and 6? You mean it'll be gone, or what are you saying, Dave?
I think he means he's fine, but I don't know. I will in all fairness, this is not any dislike or hate on Sharon Moore. So when that comes up, is the work that they were able to do this last year without literally being able to throw the damn ball, like basically at all, was quite impressive. Jackson knows all about that in the bowl season.
Oh yeah,
but
Michigan, kind of like where I said Ohio State kind of spanked Oregon like Foghorn Leghorn spanking the barnyard dog. Michigan did the exact same thing to Alabama in the first half of the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yeah,
without a passing game.
Yeah, what he did was and the staff was pretty impressive after, especially Wink Martindale simplified the defense. After the first 3 or 4 games, he kind of simplified it, let them just attack. But okay, Dave, yeah, he'd be gone. He's cheap. Sharon Moore's buyout, I don't even know what it is. I'm sure it's almost nothing. But it's just the drama that goes around the entire program with this. I mean, Michigan's just willingly suspending him for 2 games, but they chose what games he's going to take the suspensions in as a precursor to the NCAA findings and coming. I literally just hope this is not a hate on Michigan. NCAA, grow a pair and drop the hammer. So just do it.
Yes, he was.
Was he? He was a game show host?
Not this Wink Martindale, but there was a Wink Martindale.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, not that one. I was like, wait, him? What?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, the NCAA just needs to grow a pair though, and drop the hammer.
I'm just like, either do or don't. I really don't care.
And I'm not saying take their title away. That's not going to happen. But I'd like to see just an asterisk next to it, like forever on the records. That'd be funny.
Kind of like Reggie Bush's Heisman.
He got it back.
Well, yeah, but there was.
Can
an
we like do
asterisk.
that? Can we do that with national titles? Like that would be cool if we could like see the NCAA give back national titles. Like I'm surprised nobody calls for that. Like that sucks.
Can we take away all split or shared titles?
Hell no.
Well,
That's part of college
stupid.
football history.
Okay, you relic. Out of here.
He is a relic.
Oh, we're
He
all
knows
relic.
more about college football statistics in his own life.
That's probably true, actually. It's probably true.
In 1926, Alabama beat
Washington.
State in the
That Alabama played Washington to 26 Rose Bowl, which by the
oh
way,
Jesus Christ! See,
2025 is the 100th anniversary of Alabama's first national championship.
oh,
There we go. All
And
right.
we at the Voice College Football celebrated.
Killing me. All right, the chat brought up this, and this is definitely one person that was on the list, but they brought it up earlier, so I want to talk. Oh, I missed the new comment. What was it?
Okay.
it's
I'm gonna
true.
quit.
It
I
is
know.
true.
That's why it's so funny.
I think it is true. Well, and Sid Irish also brought it up, but so did Jim R. So Brent Venables is very popular from Sid Irish and from Jim R. That was Sid Irish's number one was Brent Venables, and I can't disagree with that. That's a very notable name who has failed to live up to expectations, but has made a lot of off-season moves, bringing in John Mateer and Arbuckle, right? Is that who it was? Washington State's OC. It was Arbuckle, right?
Yes, Ben Arbuckle is his offense coordinator,
and John Mateer, the quarterback.
Yep, yeah, I think like Oklahoma realized we gotta go take Washington State's guys and Cal's guys. This is gonna save us.
Poor Washington State, man.
God,
They can't catch a break.
no, I mean it's like they're taking everybody. They're taking like the coaching staffs and their mothers with them. Like that is so like, oh my God, it's like that university is in a fate worse than hell right now. Like your head coach left for Wake Forest. Like your head coach left for Wake Forest. Let that sink in.
And you know that was planned. That was not like spur of the moment, like reached out to him, talked to him. That was like planned.
Who the hell leaves for Wake Forest? Like Jesus.
A steady job.
I don't give a rat's ass.
I mean,
you're not going to win anything at Wake Forest. Like if you're hoping to win, that's not the place for you. But I mean,
stability, I get stability where a university, if you're at least being successful, they're not going to fire you.
Whatever floats your boat, football head.
You could have been at Washington State forever, though. But yes, the only reason John Mateer, besides the fact Mateer is really good and talented, and he had a good year last year, bringing in Arbuckle though, so they keep the system in place. But now, will that work in the SEC though, compared to basically the Pac-2 / Mountain West?
I think I think it can. I think it will. So I mean, we're looking at John Mater. He's a stud. I can't wait to see what he brings for Oklahoma this year. And the fact of the matter is, like that first stretch of the season, the first half is a little bit easier because like Oklahoma's going to catch Michigan at a vulnerable moment. And after that, Auburn's like your toughest game. But you got like easy non-con games with Illinois State, the Temple Owls, Kent State, Sorry, Mark. I know Kent State's your own Mark, but I mean, Kent State's a disaster. I'm sorry to say that. But the Red River rivalry, we're going to see what stones Oklahoma's made of on October 11th. And if they pull off that upset over the Longhorns, that is where we're going to see whether if Brent Venables is keeping his job or not.
Yeah, because it hasn't been I mean, at times the defense has been kind of shaky, even though he's a defensive guy. It's been the offense. Offense has been the most atrocious thing for Oklahoma. It's been their offense. So he made changes, but much like Mike Gundy, he made a lot of changes too. Will it work though? That's the huge question mark of the whole situation with that. Oh God! Someone else said Mario, or it was George said Mario.
Yeah.
George is the jungle from Florida.
Yeah, the Florida Gator.
Oh, he's
George
funny.
said Mario.
Mario's
fine.
isn't on After Dark. Like, we would love to have George on there. Like, that'd be cool.
I had him on camera once. He actually got on camera, like live on camera.
Oh,
Showed
yeah.
his face. Got him on there years ago. Mario is fine. Now, again, Mario is an alum of Miami. He was a player that he's fine. He's fine.
At some point, Miami's going to get tired of this winning the games that they shouldn't and losing the games they shouldn't. Because what's going to happen if you see Miami unbeaten going into Syracuse? They pissed away against the Cuse. Then they got Virginia Tech Pitt for the last two games. They stink like hell at Virginia Tech. And then they stink it up at Pitt. Because you know what happens at Pittsburgh, right? Dreams go to die, especially if you're a top 25 team.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing with Mario, and Spaz and I can specifically say to this because either he'll have a good offense, which obviously with Cam Ward, great offense. That was the only reason they won games because their defense sucked. Or he'll have a good defense and an offense. That's kind of Mario's thing, and then some of the obviously questionable in-game decision making, and time management, stuff like that.
Dave, they'll get tired of him eventually. Oh, Dave, are you talking about Mario Cristobal or are you talking about a different guy? Because I am not doing a good job looking at the chat tonight.
I think he's commenting on Sid Irish, who brought up PJ Fleck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see where Fleck was on the hot seat last season, but I think like when Minnesota was playing Michigan, where Minnesota governor and vice presidential candidate for 2024 Tim Walz was attending the game, and like Minnesota was trailing. Where Minnesota was trailing by a bunch in the fourth quarter, they're like, crap, the governor's there. We got to step it up, boys. And they had momentum. Like, they lost that game against Michigan. But what happened was they pulled off the upset over the USC Trojans. That's where the momentum started. And I think like that humongous winning streak Minnesota had, and the fact that they've had a 50% record against Wisconsin is pretty good. I don't think Minnesota's expecting national titles like they had from the 30s and 40s. They just want like a 9-win season or a 10-win season every now and again.
I think that's the big thing is because, I mean, I'm looking at their schedule too. And it's like, yeah, they lost at Michigan by 3. They went on the 4-game win streak. Their wolf moment was losing to Rutgers.
Yes.
That at Rutgers, losing that, but then they lost the next week by 1 point to Penn State. But that loss at Rutgers, that's a wolf point. Losing to Penn State by 1 point is not a bad thing, but
no.
they're very up and down. But PJ Fleck just kind of fits Minnesota.
Yeah,
It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame Minnesota for losing to Penn State or Michigan, or even Iowa for that matter,
Rutgers, though.
and North Carolina.
Yeah, that first game of the year was a pretty ugly.
I actually thought PJ Fleck was eventually going to get fired after that North Carolina game, where it was like, okay, the rest of the season's not looking so good, but then it was like that Michigan game on big noon kickoff, the governor attending the big house. That was just like a momentum setter for him because we saw it against USC week 6. Everybody's talking about Alabama getting upset by Vandy that day, but people forgot about Minnesota upset USC for a bit, except for the Minnesota USC fan bases and the people who love all of college football. Did not forget it. Now, okay, speaking of teams that beat USC, Mike Locksley, his ass is basically a dead man walking at this point. He is a dead man walking. His boss that hired him in 2020 left for, no, my mistake, 2019. Left for SMU. The only conference win was USC. That was it. That's a bad look for the Maryland Terrapins. I mean, I don't think they're expecting to have 10-win seasons or anything, but they do want success every now and again. I mean, the non-con schedule is easy peasy. They got Florida Atlantic, Northern Illinois, and Towson. I'm sure they're going to put one of those games on CBS. Am I right?
This is where it's hard because, in the sense I guess what we would say Maryland expectations. Mike Locksley actually doesn't recruit that badly. It could be better, obviously, but every team could say they could be better. But he seems like a genuinely nice guy and has the best intentions, but on the field, it's just not getting it done.
Well, guys finish last in this business.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the problem for Maryland is kind of like Rutgers and Northwestern, for instance, in the Big Ten landscape, is they're just kind of there in a way, and that's rough to say, not just as the Oregon Duck that just came in and took over the conference last year, but they're just kind of there even before Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Washington joined. If anyone said what are the three kind of weird teams in the Big Ten, they'd say Rutgers, Maryland, and Northwestern probably. They're just kind of like the three outlier teams. They're just there, so.
But of course, check out Maryland at the Voice College Football, where you got Charles and Mark Gray bringing that magic on Friday afternoons. Let me tell you something. You're not going to want to miss Maryland Terrapins Live.
We have a Terp host? Sweet.
Yeah, you didn't know. Yeah, I mean, we got Maryland.
You think I keep up with any of this? Shit, I got my own national show. I do what I want over here. I ain't got time for a Maryland channel. Kidding me? No.
Come on.
Hey, Jim Ard, you'd be nice to Purdue. No, Barry Odom's safe though. We're not even going to talk about Barry Odom. He's got a couple of years. I don't think they'll do him dirty like they did Walters.
I'm kind of curious to see what happens with the Terrapins this year, but we'll wait and see. Oh, Maryland, Wisconsin's on week 4. Speak of the devil, Luke Fickell.
That was a good one. Earlier, I came up with Fickell, and I'm like, yeah, he's one of the obvious ones because it has not been what Wisconsin was hoping for. Wisconsin literally destroyed, quote unquote, what would you call it? Like a power run regime when they fired Christ, and Fickell was like, I want to do more air raids, spread it out, and it has not gone good. It has not been good. in Wisconsin since then. It has not been good.
Wolf.
Outside, I would argue, and I think you could agree, maybe both of you agree, their best game that I ever saw them have, to be honest. Now, this last year, though, for instance, Tyler Van Dyke going down, which I don't think he was going to be like the savior of Wisconsin football by any means, but him getting injured against Alabama, that really threw that season out of whack for them because they literally couldn't pass the ball. Kind of much like Wisconsin. Arguably, their best game was against Oregon in whatever it was, whatever week it was. You know, holding Oregon to like 16 points or whatever in a loss at home. That was our best game. They couldn't do anything offensively.
That was the week before rivalry. Well, 2 weeks before rivalry week.
Yeah, it was like whatever week that was. That's what I was like.
November 16th on
was
NBC.
technically week 13?
Week 12.
Was it technically week 12 then? Okay, that's why I was like, whatever week that was, because of the week 0 and then
Mm-hmm. But like the worst thing that happened too was the winning streak came to an end against Nebraska. Wow, you got a dirty mind, Gregory.
So I was like, oh, so bad. So
That
bad.
would be brutal.
Tuck, yeah.
God, so bad. Yeah, Fickles. This is the beyond. I think this year he's not going to get fired because they gave him the extension, which I know for Wisconsin is kind of normal, I guess, as I was hearing before about coaches. They do that a lot. I think if they have a kind of a crappy year this year, I do think he'll definitely be on the hot seat for 2026. Let's put it that way.
If they're beating Alabama, then he's off the hot seat and he gets a lot of momentum. I don't think
that's not happening at Alabama though.
But if we're seeing like Wisconsin go, they're 5-1 going into Ohio State, then I can see where he's safe. If Wisconsin's 8-4, I think it's a discussion whether we see Luke Fickell get that vote of confidence for 2026. And if you're getting a vote of confidence, that is sort of good, sort of bad. It's mid.
I think a regular season 7-8 is very that you would see a lot of positivity, especially if there's not like embarrassing losses or anything like that. You're not getting drubbed, and you get 7 or 8 regular season wins. I think he would be safe.
Yeah,
and that's also a good point by Dave. Where would they go? Are they going to go hire Chris? Try to get Chris back? I mean, Wisconsin really kind of screwed themselves when they got rid of like their quote unquote, run game tradition. It's not like Fickell came in and said, "Hey, I want to do the heavy run game like you've been doing." He said, "I want to change it." That takes time to change an offense.
Yes, it
does. Let's see. I know there's a lot of other coaches. You could say Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. Now, Jonathan Smith is an interesting one, actually. And this is actually not a guy I had on my list, actually, at all. But actually, when I'm thinking about it now, Jonathan Smith is interesting at Michigan State because their AD left. And was it their AD or their president?
Which one?
Michigan State.
Their AD, I believe.
I think I was like the AD or the president. But in his contract, when he got hired from Oregon State, said if there's a change your buyout gets reduced by like over half, which is a weird statement to have in a contract. So basically, he's pennies on the dollar if they want to remove him, which is weird. I don't think he's on the hot seat because obviously it was only year one, but it's kind of a weird thing in the contract. His contract, kind of interesting. Hey Spaz, are you on this show still, or are you just like sitting there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You look like you're texting, Dave.
Well, make sure you're still alive.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I'm
don't
just
be
kind of
texting.
trolling.
Be texting, my guy. You got business. You got hot seat to discuss, man.
Yeah, we want to go back to the hot seat. Let's go.
Don't bring up a
I
team.
don't know
Don't
what
bring up
you're
a
talking about.
Don't bring up a team we've already talked about. I swear to God, Spaz.
How about the guy in the left right corner up here?
Hmm.
How about the Alabama Crimson Tide
Ooh,
coach?
Kalen
I
DeBoer.
doubt that DeBoer's on a hot seat. It's not.
Could he be if Alabama has an 8-4 or worse season?
Yes, but you're not going to see them have a 8-4 worse season. You're going to see them go 10-2 or 11-1. Because
Let's look
Big
at this.
confidence for no established quarterback.
our quarterback game will be established by the time we get to week 5. That I can promise you.
If you lose to Florida State game 1, are you going to freak out?
No. Know why?
I would.
No. You don't throw the baby. You know why you don't freak out after week 1? Because that's
It's
called
week 1.
Because number 1, that's called throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Number 2, you have a whole season left over. So there's that.
You do have this is a brutal stretch there from week 3 though. Wisconsin at Georgia, Vandy at Missouri, Tennessee at South Carolina, LSU, and then you got LSU. That's pretty.
You're going 10-2 with that.
That's a pretty brutal.
Gauntlet?
That was pretty brutal.
What gives you that much confidence?
Our offense, our offensive coordinator, our defense.
I mean, that's a gauntlet, man.
It's at
That's a
Georgia,
6-week hell.
Georgia too. It's like at South Carolina.
At Georgia, out South Carolina.
If they hold up to what they're
Be honest,
what we project,
I've got us losing to South Carolina. I'm still trying to figure out who that second loss will be. Honestly,
Oklahoma again
at Georgia.
Looks like Oklahoma again.
It could be either Georgia or it could be Auburn. Honestly,
Auburn. You never know what Hugh Freeze could do. I mean, maybe he puts Jackson Arnold. You see that potential again that they thought they were going to get from Oklahoma. Maybe he brought him enough hookers and stuff to motivate him before that game.
You got to be like you got to put your mind on the game. You can't be thinking about poontang. That's a no.
That's not what his old motto was.
I don't care. When you're playing a game, you got to think about the game. You don't go thinking about somebody's laying down under. That's a big no. Because it weakens the legs.
Kalen DeBoer is safe this year, unless it's an absolute disaster. Like if he went 6-6, then you'd be like, yeah, that's not Alabama standard, But I don't think this year. Now, if he has a average year, like say 9-3, 8-4, and loses a bowl game embarrassingly again, then he'd definitely be on the hot seat in 2026. I think
Daniel, I'm always sober. It's what I drink when I'm on shows is either coffee or ice water. I'll never drink an alcoholic beverage on a show. And if I drink alcoholic beverages, it's in the privacy of my own home. The last time I drank an alcoholic beverage was February 2023, and it was on a Wednesday. And I could tell you right now, if I mess with an alcoholic beverage, it's usually one drink. I don't drink more than once because if I do, I'll lose brain cells.
What?
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 Exactly.
I'm not mixing. I'm not mixing. I'm
What
not
are-
mixing drinks.
What's brain cell?
Yeah. What is that?
Something that makes you think.
Oh. Well, aren't you
Okay.
aren't you fancy? I almost caught me with an F bomb there.
Yeah,
Almost. I
did.
censored.
It was
I
right
censored.
there.
I censored. I'm behaving
Oh.
tonight. No, you're right. You're
Look,
right.
we need to take Jackson. We need to get Jackson to one of the media days. We got to get him out to Vegas. Kid's never been to Vegas. We got to get him out to Vegas, and we're gonna show him the time of his life. He's gonna feel like Weekend at Bernie's met what's the one they just had the trilogy of?
No, this is he's literally gonna be the guy from the oh, it was right there.
The dead dude.
What's that?
The dead dude.
No, from the
No.
Matt Damon and all those guys. They did the series.
Not Matt Damon, but yeah, the they
Uh,
always lose their friend.
there was like
The
three of
Hangover.
them.
The Hangover. The Hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be you, Jackson. You're gonna be like on a rooftop somewhere just by yourself.
That's gonna be
freaking out.
Jackson, and when we get him to Vegas.
Oh, I'd be mad. I'd be mad and having a hissy fit.
We'll have strippers dancing on his lap, and we'll have
A tiger
He'll-
in there.
He'll be so
Randomly.
drunk he won't know where he's at, and he'll wake up on the rooftop of the Hilton or something, buck naked with a zebra next to him or something.
I'll think about it, but meantime, my mind's on business. Like the rest of the hot seat coaches, for example, Dave Doreen at North Carolina State.
He's an interesting one because he fits North Carolina State, so NC State, I guess, simplified NC State.
Well, you gotta
He fits it
remember.
so well.
Well, you gotta remember he's been there longer than the guy who replaced Tom O'Brien, right? Now, Tom O'Brien was just a bit outside with Russell Wilson, right? Even upsetting Florida State was not enough to keep his job in 2012. They fired his butt after going 7-5. I can guarantee you, if North Carolina State's going 6-6 again or 7-5, there's going to be a serious talk between North Carolina State and Dave Doreen. When they hired him, they were expecting like 10-win seasons, like the magic he was creating at Northern Illinois, where he led them to the Orange Bowl against the Florida State Seminoles for 2012. Now, North Carolina State is going to have to really figure this out, and we're going to know a little more about it by the end of October, you might say, because I mean,
if they're not good by the end of October, they're screwed. Looking at
because like you got East Carolina in your rematch from your bowl game last year on Thursday Night Football. You got Virginia for a non-conference game. I'm actually not joking about that.
I hate the ACC schedule when they do this rotational non-con because of Notre Dame, and they do the Virginia is like a non-con. I hate the ACC so much.
And
Stupid.
you're gonna see them go against Wake Forest on Thursday night. They got Duke on Saturday, week 4. Virginia Tech's coming to their backyard on week 5. Notre Dame is the Peacock game for week 7. Now, if NC State was to somehow pull off an upset over Notre Dame while Notre Dame's sitting there thinking about potentially what could be the final matchup of the Notre Dame USC rivalry, I threw up in my mouth thinking about that for a moment. But North Carolina State has to go to Pitt for week 9. Well, week 9. You got Georgia Tech, week 10. Miami on the road for week 12. The week before rivalry week, Florida State, Friday night, and North Carolina. Now, North Carolina State's had a pretty good run against North Carolina. Does it continue? And I think that's been the saving grace for Dave Doreen. It doesn't really matter.
This is the Belichick era, though. So, but that stretch at the end there is at Notre Dame, at Pitt, Georgia Tech, at Miami, Florida State, depending on what Florida State is, especially, and then North Carolina. That's kind of, if they're not good before Notre Dame, it's gonna be heating up. Let's put it that way, because that last part of the schedule is not great. They do have the one good thing going for them. Do not have to go to Cal or to Stanford.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have a cross-country trip. So that's very, very good for NC State.
Well, and North Carolina State's 4-game winning streak against North Carolina, pretty good. They can beat North Carolina again this year. That really is the saving grace for Dave Doreen.
Is it Doreen or Doran?
Call him whatever the hell you want.
I was like, someone said Dorn, and then someone said Doran. I was like, is it Doran?
He doesn't get to say whether he wants his name pronounced correctly until he gives North Carolina State a 10-win season. That's what I say.
Damn right. Drop the hammer. Who cares? We know who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Justin
Wilcox, is he a hot seat coach?
Should be.
Woof.
Should be,
but
you lost most of your offense to everywhere.
He lost 5 running backs.
Yeah.
If anyone paid attention to X's last year in the Calgorithm, the hashtag Calgorithm, it was so funny and sad when Oklahoma picked up Jay Knott. But 2 days before Jay Knott went to the transfer portal, he literally signed someone's helmet and saying, "I'm not leaving," and signed their helmet for California. And then 2 days later, entered the transfer portal and broke that guy's heart. Justin Wilcox
he's treading on dangerous territory.
Yeah, Justin should be gone.
I mean, Cal did fire Sonny Dykes, remember, before Justin Wilcox.
And they fired Jeff Tedford before Sonny Dykes.
Yeah. Yeah, they got rid of Tedford, who's actually up for the or he's going to be inducted into the Coaching Hall of Fame for college football this next year.
Yeah.
Well,
Cal is so bad. There's not a Locked On Cal or a host for Cal at The Voice College Football. Cal's that bad.
I'm going to reach out to a couple people of the Cal algorithm, see if they would like to do it. To do Cal, you have to be hardcore. You got to be an alum of Cal to do it, for Berkeley and stuff. But Justin Wilcox is
he's done.
And as Spaz, he played at Oregon, so we have an appreciation for Justin Wilcox. He just I don't know what it is. Either he'll have a really good defense and a crappy offense, or he'll have a crappy defense and a good offense. He just cannot seem to put it together. But Cal is tough to coach at. I don't know if the support structure is crap. They had that. What was it? They were invested in that crypto coin, FTX or whatever years ago, and they went under. So they had to remove their like promotion for it or something like that, and they lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't remember.
FTX or something like that. It's just one of those weird things. It was like,
Oh, poor Georgia is going to have to travel 1,000 miles. Oregon travels 1,000 miles on one trip.
Well, but yeah, here's my question. Speaking of Sonny Dykes, are we ready to say that he's a hot seat coach? Or
no,
At SMU, no.
no, at TCU.
no, yeah,
Or
TCU.
TCU.
Yeah, no.
Uh-huh.
Close
Yeah, I
enough.
forgot it.
Close enough.
He went from SMU to TCU. I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
close enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't forget stuff like that, good buddy. But yeah,
Wow, shots fired. Like, hey, Spaz, get your shit together.
That's why
I
I'm
was
not a
saying
producer.
it in a nicer way, Ben. Come on.
That's why I'm not a producer.
I just tell him how it is. Now,
Poor
Sonny Dykes,
writer.
Sonny Dykes is okay. I mean, after what he's done so far, the 1 year, obviously, then it was kind of trash. Then it got recovered. I think he's okay this year, unless it's like an absolute dumpster fire.
Well, I think people are not going to care about TCU going to the Natty in his first year anymore. I think the shine is kind of wearing away a little bit.
It was the little random, like you say, like everything just kind of went their way that year, basically.
Yeah.
Except for when they met Georgia.
Yeah, that was bad.
I turned it off after halftime. I am not refilling my cup. That is not what you hear, everyone. Relax. This is a family-friendly, wholesome show on Sunday night.
Yeah, okay, dude.
No, Sonny Dykes is okay. Sonny Dykes is okay.
For now.
You know what? We brought this up multiple times. How we've not talked about it. Mike Norvell.
Yes.
I don't know how that was not named number one in our chat. Mike Norvell, 13-0, left out of the playoff to 2-10, which probably should have been 1-11. They probably should have lost to Cal.
Oh yeah. They are like bragging about beating Cal. That's
ooh, Mrs. Spaz. Hello.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. It's a rare sighting when
Yeah.
you're bringing him food.
Yeah.
It's a rare sighting.
Yeah, how could we forget Norvell?
I know. I was like, that's it. I was like, I didn't want to go obvious with Mike Norvell or anything, but I was like, wow, we totally forgot about him.
I think honestly, Florida State was so focused on we're going to lead the ACC that they forgot about 2024. Honestly,
Yeah.
but I think that's true, but I think people are kind of forgetting about the good years. They're thinking about what's happening right now and what's happening today. They're not thinking about, like, nobody's thinking about what could be built within 4 or 5 years from now. It's right now. A lot of teams, a lot of the fans, a lot of the boosters, they want instant gratification. They don't think about how it takes time to build a program. They're not thinking about things like that.
The problem with Florida State too is, and this is in my point is, are they still paying Willie Taggart?
Oh yeah.
Are they still paying his buyout?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Should be.
I was like, I think annually they're still paying him like $1 million or something.
Oh, I would have just grabbed my glass.
The thing is, since Jameis Winston,
True.
2012 or 2013, 2014, Jimbo Fisher was there. Then he left. They went and got Willie Taggart, and everything just went to absolute hell. the last like year or so of Jimbo Fisher to then Willie Taggart's couple years. Mike Norvell built it, but Mike Norvell is building it up in heavy transfer portal. That's what he's done, and you've seen where it worked, and then you've seen where it's a complete flop. So this year is going to say a lot for Mike Norvell. I think Jason's right. If this
Works
is another
pretty
bad,
good. Works
If you-
pretty good up here.
if you do it right, though, but he builds his team off the transfer portal. That's kind of the difference. And if he has a bad year this year, I think what Jason said, then he's going to be hot seat. But I don't know if Florida State can afford to buy him out, to be honest, since they're still paying Taggart. I don't even know if they can do
No,
it.
Jason said Taggart's been off the books for 2 years.
Oh, has he? Okay. I mean, I know they owed him quite a bit of money. They only kept him for like 2 years. We appreciate you, Florida State, also for taking Willie Taggart from Oregon. We appreciate
And
that.
by the way, check out Florida State Live with Matthew Lennox and Sam Moore on Monday nights, including tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where they create some magic on Seminoles Live. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Norvell is an easy one, but I agree. I think this year is a defining year. If he doesn't go at least like, what is Florida State's schedule? Hold on, let me look at it here.
Well, they've got to start off with Alabama.
Yeah, that's a loss. I think that's a loss.
Maybe.
Kent State's coming to their backyard. They've got that Friday game against North Carolina State the week before rivalry week. They got to go to Virginia on Friday night for week 5. But they got Miami coming to their backyard week 6. Hey, I'll be watching that game, that's for sure. Stanford, they got to go Stanford.
At Stanford.
God.
Andrew Luck might be playing quarterback by then.
At least doing handoffs.
Oh my God. Florida rivalry week at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
I don't know though. Yeah, look at the schedule of the away games. Alabama, that's a loss. At Virginia, Virginia's an interesting team. At Stanford, it's a long road trip. At Clemson, at NC State, at Florida. And I don't know. Can he get 7-8 wins this year?
It could
At
happen.
Alabama, Clemson, and Florida. Ugh.
It's interesting. He's got to go bowling this year. If he doesn't go bowling, I think it's pure.
Oh, what's up, Dylan Hackworth? How you doing tonight, good buddy?
It's pure hot seat though. If you don't go bowling,
How long have you been an Arkansas fan? That's pretty cool.
Arkansas. I wasn't going to bring up them, but
I don't think Pittman gets fired.
no.
I'm thinking he retires. I'm not. It's kind of a squiggly line, because I'm going to be honest, that Tennessee upset saved him.
How old is Pittman? Like late like 70?
He's mid-60s.
Is he mid 60s? Okay, I wasn't sure if he's mid 60s, just like 70. So I was like
Yeah,
somewhere in
he's
that range.
well, he's close to mid-60s. My mistake. 63 years old.
Oh, okay. He's just great. Maybe he's just great more. Than, I haven't seen a photo of him in a while, so maybe that's why I was like,
Sure. And I'm surprised Bobby Petrino's not trying to take his job, honestly, because it's like
the full return of Bobby Petrino.
it's like I would be watching my back if I could, because I want to win. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of feeling like Bobby Petrino's trying to have Arkansas lose on purpose so he could just take the job away from Pittman. I kind of felt like that was happening against Oklahoma State last year.
I like the boldness here of Dylan. It's like I think we beat Notre Dame and make one other upset. Sid Irish laughs, but we don't want to forget Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. So that could be your Northern Illinois game, the Arkansas one.
2022,
Stanford
20,
and almost Cal.
Yeah, because Notre Dame is always like since they've had Marcus Freeman, they lose that one game they shouldn't.
Exactly.
And
So that could be it. That could be that random game. You never know how things.
I really hope. I want to see Pittman have an 8-win season or a 9-win season. Like I kind of have a soft spot for Pittman and the Razorbacks. I like him. He's
I
a
kind
good
of do. I do too. I have nothing against. I don't have anything personal against almost any coach, but Pittman is always one of those like kind of likable guys.
Yeah.
Is Petrino bringing his girlfriends on the back of a motorcycle still?
Nah, he's an old man sitting there watching cable news.
The state of Arkansas revoked his motorcycle license.
It's like if you're an old man in your 50s, you're like either watching cable news or
I don't
talking
watch
about
cable news.
Yeah, but you're not like a junkie. You're not like a junkie, It's like this ain't aimed towards you. You're not like bragging about like the law. Like if you're like bragging about the lot or like the talking about cable news constantly, yeah, you've gotten old.
Well, Dylan brought it up when we put up Brent Pry.
Yes.
Pry, yeah.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he's starting to wear out his welcome in a certain ways. Year one, year two was all right, but he's really wearing out.
Yay, Sean Garner's here.
Oh my God, no, hell no, absolutely.
No,
not.
you can't come in 2 hours late. You're fired.
I know. How do you jump in 2 hours into the show? What is this?
Hey, sorry for having a social life. Okay.
Who? No one wants
Having
to.
friends.
No one wants to socialize with you.
Yeah, they
He stuck his finger in a light socket again.
Hey, depending on whether or not I had to pay people, it is social life to social life, right?
It doesn't matter what back room or back alley. Social life is a social life, man. Yeah.
How was the club?
Hey, you should know, Spaz. You set it up.
You missed it. I was telling Jackson earlier, we're going to take him out to Vegas and all of us and give him a weekend at Bernie's / a hangover weekend with Mike Tyson.
Well, so who would be the Bernie in this situation?
Well, it'd have to be me. I'm the oldest.
No, Jackson's like 127. That's how he knows all these facts.
Well, yeah, because he's not just the ghost. He's actually the reincarnation of Bear Bryant. Just look at him.
Yeah.
He's just a straight vampire.
He looks like a ghost of somebody. I don't know.
Why do you think he has a dark room? He's always on at nighttime.
Yeah.
Come on, let's put it together, people. Let's put it together.
I'm on at mornings. I'm on at afternoons. I'm on evenings, and I'm on late nights.
Jackson's on 24 hours a day.
I try to be.
Just turn on the Voice of College Football. There's Jackson. 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m. It don't matter.
But
if you keep
covered.
Well, I mean, it's there's more in me. Like it's Voice College Football is by Mart Rogers. By the way, Mart's birthday is on Tuesday, so don't forget to tell everyone your favorite memories of the magic that Mart Rogers has created. All right here at Voice College Football.
You don't have a real ID, sir. We have someone who wants to talk to you. Secondary.
Okay, back to Brent Pry.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
I was gonna go have a cigarette, so I was glad Sean dropped in, but I didn't want to drop out. Yeah, that's
we're dropping onto Brent Pry.
Yeah, we're on Brent Pry. We're deep into this. Like we are deep. Chat,
You
you
may-
behave yourselves, chat, with that comment. All right, behave yourselves. All right.
If you got a question for us or want to comment, and if you really want it to be seen, put it in super chat and we will make sure we read it out loud. Alrighty, so we are back on Brent Pry. So, what does Brent Pry have to do to make sure he gets off that hot seat discussion? Does Virginia Tech need to have a 9-10 win season?
They need to be in the discussion for the ACC championship game, probably pretty deep into the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a program that's experienced success fairly recently. I can't imagine they're too pleased with the Brent Pryor so far.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Brent Pry. He needs good days for sure.
Yeah.
So, Spaz, how you feeling about Virginia Tech season going into 2025?
I honestly don't know much about Virginia Tech. I know they're from Blacksburg. I know Michael Vick went there,
Okay.
but I don't pay much attention to the ACC outside of Clemson.
Alrighty.
I'm being honest. It's a
So
shit conference. It's a shit conference. They
honest.
got no real teams.
What's Virginia Tech's schedule early on look like?
Well, they start off with South Carolina.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Uh-huh. Let me see. Let me find my little link. Gummit. I put I think my IT guy's right. I put too much stuff on there. But here we go. Here we go. So they start off with South Carolina. They got Vanderbilt coming to their backyard. Old Dominion, they always have trouble with Old Dominion. However, all the losses against Old Dominion have been on the road. They have not lost to Old Dominion at home since the series started. They have to go North Carolina State. That's going to be very telling. You got to go to Georgia Tech, October 11th. Cal is Friday night, October 24th. Louisville. Now, that's a night game. Then that's trouble for Louisville. Miami, they always lose the one game they shouldn't. They always do. And I think Virginia Tech can upset Miami.
Well, we just skipped over their game at Florida State.
Yeah, but that's more of a toss-up.
Yeah.
But they'll win against Virginia. I kind of feel like one of these home games, like, you're going to see them moved up to Thursday night. I don't know why, but I think they should be. I feel like Virginia Tech Miami should be a Thursday night football game. Because when you got Virginia Tech on Thursday night football, that means one thing. Magic is coming Virginia Tech's way. And if you're a road team, look out. Chat, are there any other coaches that we missed out on? That's what we want to know.
Yeah. Billy Napier.
That's funny because I was talking a little bit about him with Tyler Whitfield from Florida at the Voice College Football. By the way, check out Florida at the Voice College Football. It's Tyler Whitfield and Tyler Natuno. Bring that magic Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Stay tuned. All righty. So I guested for about 30 minutes on Florida at the Voice College Football with Tyler Whitfield. And I said that Napier's in a similar situation as Neal Brown. Now, this time last year, you didn't hear anybody talking about Neal Brown on a hot seat, right? because he got that vote of confidence 2023. He's fine, right?
Yeah.
And West Virginia could contend for the Big 12, but guess what? They didn't. West Virginia fell short of everybody's expectations. Of course, they got beat by Penn State, but that's what everybody was expecting. They pissed it away against Pitt. They almost blew it against Kansas. But then we see them just blow it up. Now let's look back on their schedule, shall we? Okay, I'm on Pitt. Let's go West Virginia, 2024. Boom. Yeah, they beat Oklahoma State. Okay, that's good. You lose to Iowa State, Kansas State. That's bad. You get your ass handed to you by Baylor. You get spanked by Texas Tech. That's fireable right there if you're at West Virginia.
Yeah.
And Neil Brown got himself canned. That's unfortunate, but mediocrity is not tolerated. And honestly, West Virginia going sits and sits like that was a fireable offense right there. Now looking at Billy Napier, you got momentum. You're 4-5. You're basically like everybody's hating you. They want you out of there. They don't care you got a contract extension. A few days before you get smacked off the face of the earth by the Texas Longhorns. What happens? You beat LSU. You spoil Ole Miss national title hopes. You smack Florida State off the face of the earth. And finally, you beat Tulane, who's a former SEC team. A few days before Christmas. So you got a little momentum for 2025. Now, if Florida goes 8-4, it's back to hot seat territory, and we're talking about whether Napier gets a vote of confidence. If Florida goes 7-5 and sits and sits, then he's fired. But if Florida's 9-3 or better, hot seat talk is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of us didn't think he would survive half the season last year.
I know, right?
No, they had such a brutal schedule in the SEC. There, they got none of the weaklings.
Well, it's still brutal this year too, to a degree. But I mean, remember, their AD came out last year, right before that Texas blowout, and said, "No, he's fine," and stood right there, getting blown out at Texas, and stood behind him. So, yeah, this year we'll say a lot for Napier. Yeah, he's definitely kind of like that 50-50. He has like that interesting position on hot seats. Yeah, if he does good, at least 8 wins, especially in conference against the rivals and stuff.
Florida
He's
has
fine.
8 wins this year, I think it's vote of confidence discussion time, and Napier's on a hot seat territory where he's dead man walking, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, but Florida, if you have 8 wins at Florida, you could be a dead man walking. But if you're at Kentucky or Vanderbilt and you have 8 wins, you get a statue built for you.
Well, thinking of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, could Billy Napier be the next Wayne Fonts that I remember growing up as as a Lions follower? Not really a fan, but like he just did enough every year that they kept him around. He was on the hot seat for like 6 years. I remember growing up as a kid. Everyone wanted to get rid of him forever, but they just never did. Like, could that be Billy Napier's fate at Florida? Just his whole tenure is just hanging on.
I think
at Florida.
I think a lot. You could do that with a lot of coaches, where you have those like one good year, one bad year, one good year, one bad year, one good year, and you're like, yeah, we're getting there. Or a couple of good years, and then you have a bad year, and then you have a good year. You know, he could be in that limbo sort of stage of like where it's always like, is he gonna be gone? No. And like this with Jason Stoops at Kentucky, for instance. Kentucky went the season very high, with aspirations, and by like week 6, they were like, we're on to basketball season. We're done.
Well, there was a bright side.
We're out of this.
On the bright side, they did upset Ole Miss for 2024, and Sean McDonough got excited when talking about this game. Although
Did,
he's
did
not,
he hit his puberty voice?
not quite. He's sitting there going, I went from calling 93 World Series to this. Damn.
That had
yeah.
to be the most embarrassing game that Lane Kiffin has ever called.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the
Like
most
I
embarrassing
remember
games.
that way Ole Miss was accused of faking injuries. Like, oh my God. Oh, and by the way, you want to check out Ole Miss at the Voice College Football because they got magic all over the place. You got Mark Rogers, Leanne Herring, and Ruby Dreyer, who is one of the stars behind the scenes for College Game Day. I mean, the stars are Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, but really and truly, it's really the production staff that's the stars behind the scenes, including Ruby Dreyer Finley, who's bringing that magic, not just for College Game Day behind the scenes, but for Ole Miss at the Voice College Football. And Leanne Herring,
Hey,
by the way,
Pat McAfee is the head of College Game Day. It's his show now. Get that right.
yeah, but I mean, the production makes everybody at College Game Day look good. But anyway,
Yeah,
Leanne Herring,
Ruby makes everyone look good. Even Jackson. So,
what'd you say, Sean?
said Ruby makes everyone look good, even Jackson.
Wow.
Well, Leanne Herring is also who Mark has referred to as the Patrick Mahomes of recruiting insiders on February 24th, 2025 on the State of the Voice College Football Address. And I can tell you right now, if you want recruiting insider knowledge, Leanne Herring is the insider for all of you. And she had a birthday this week, so we wish her a very happy birth week. And to give a happy birth week to Leanne Herring, let's like, comment, subscribe to Ole Miss at the Voice College Football. Let's help get it to 1,000 subs, everyone. Let's help get it there. Who's not subscribed to Ole Miss at the Voice College Football? Raise your hands, because if you're not, do yourselves a favor and subscribe to Ole Miss at the Voice College Football. You're gonna make. Come on, Ben.
I don't think I am.
Well, you got subscribed.
I got like
buddy.
auto subscribe to every college football channel on the network. Like 3 years ago.
Well, I can
got
tell
me
you that
auto
you're gonna want to subscribe to Ole Miss at the Voice College Football because they got magic all over the place.
I have so many subscriptions that I miss out other things because some subscriptions take over. To
Dude, if you need somebody to help keep track, well, come on in, Jay Snow. Subscribe to Ole Miss at the Voice College Football. The link is in the chat. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get wide open. We gotta get it. It right now it's at 90 subs. So
yeah, it definitely needs some work though. It definitely needs some work. So do check out the Ole Miss channel.
yes.
There's a bunch of newer channels that are up and coming, and we're trying to work them out and get them there. And Mark's doing a great job, and the hosts are doing all they can over there. So
they're making magic. And if you don't want to miss out on it, like, comment, subscribe to each of the team channels, all right here at the Voice College Football. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
And I understand, Troy. Yeah, recruiting even for your team sometimes can be overwhelming. The amount of names you have to remember, and then who decommits and who moves on. Yeah, recruiting is that's a skill to keep track of in this day and age with the transfer portal and everything.
You start following these recruits like they're actual games. Like,
yeah,
can we?
I think Stoops is fine at Kentucky. Kentucky has high aspirations, but I don't think they expect a lot. But now, if he was to only win, what did they win this last year? Like 3 or 4 games?
4 games. Ole Miss was their only conference win, and the non-conference schedule is not easy for Kentucky because, like, they start off season with Toledo.
Yeah,
that's bad. You got Eastern Michigan as well. And you know what happens with Chris Creighton teams at Eastern Michigan? They give Power 4 teams a dogfight. They give you a dogfight. Eastern Michigan is a gambler's best friend. They are the perfect trap game after they go play the Ole Miss Rebels in week 2. I mean, it's like, I know Eastern Michigan's my best friend. I mean, I'm just kind of like, it's like Eastern Michigan. I'm curious to see what they can bring against Kentucky. And here's my little Coach Steve impression of from Big Mouth, where he's just like, I'm talking about Eastern Michigan. Oh, hi, best friend. That's what I'm thinking with Eastern Michigan. Oh, hi, best friend. I'm putting you on my parlay.
If Stoops goes bowling this year, I think he's fine. But if he wins 4 or 5 games this year only, then I would definitely put him in uncomfortable territory.
Well, it wasn't long ago that we thought of Stoops as just sort of as a guy who was a stepping stone coach. Like he was going to move on from Kentucky eventually.
A&M, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was reported that he had gotten the job at A&M.
Then, like, somebody threw a hissy fit about Mark Stoops being the Nets head coach. And it's like, oh, no, we can't have that. No, kick him off. Don't let him go A&M. It was like, oh, my God. Like, somebody liked it, and they got all mad. But Kentucky, we're going to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, Kentucky's kind of a weirder one to figure out because of their expectations. And Stoops has been there for so long; he has been successful.
Agreed.
He's kind of like you're afraid to move on because you don't know what you're going to get afterwards.
Yes,
in a way, like
you could have a Joker Phillips era.
Yeah, it's an odd situation.
Well, the one good thing that came from the Joker Phillips era was Kentucky ending the 27-game losing streak against Tennessee in 2011.
I think that says more about where Tennessee was at the time than what Joker Phillips is doing.
That was still what's his name, right? Tennessee.
Derek Dooley.
Yeah, Dooley. I was like, who was it? I was like, because Oregon beat the hell out of him in 2010 at Tennessee. And I was like, it was still that guy, right?
Yeah, Tennessee, I believe, was playing Cincinnati in 2011 for a non-conference slate.
Yeah.
That was before Butch Jones.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, we've been to ACC. We've been a little Kentucky. We have a question here, and hopefully they're still here. I didn't want to ignore this. We were just on Kentucky.
Jed Fish.
I don't have any running back wide receiver in sight, but Jed Fish. So as an Oregon fan, I thought that was a great hire by Washington, getting Jed Fish. The thing that scares me with Jed Fish is that he moves somewhere every like 2 to 3 years. He goes somewhere else. That's kind of been his motto, his like whole career. Look at his resume. He has like 20 jobs on there. Coaching jobs, like it's all over the place. But Jed Fish is good, and this last year was a transition phase. Besides Big Ten, first year with the team, all the transfers, bringing in people, and so it was a transition year. So I think Jed Fish will be just fine at Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's in a good spot at Washington right now. I mean, the expectations, I think, at least even from this year, are fairly low, and that's a pretty good job to get.
It is a good job, and I think he has now. Last year, it really sucks. Last year with Will Rogers, because Will Rogers was really good under Mike Leach. And then they had the down year, and then he went to Washington, and then he got benched for DeMont Williams. But DeMont Williams is the future for Washington. Mm-hmm. And now building that team year 2, I think they'll be better. How good, I don't know. Obviously, if you play everything on paper, that's not how it works, So, but Jed Fish I think it was a good hire. It was a great grab for Washington.
I feel like this is going to be a big year for a lot of coaches in the Big Ten, because that middle of the Big Ten, like somebody's going to like catch the short end of the stick in a lot of these games. It might not necessarily be their fault. Like, they just might be building a good program and just might lose a lot of games this year. And then, stuff happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with any team. You're like, man, look at the talent we're bringing in. Look at this. We did this last year. We should improve. You just don't know what's going to happen until you play the game. But Washington should be in a good a good place this year. What is their worst game this year? Last year, they had to go to a whiteout at Penn State and got absolutely embarrassed. This year, though, they host Ohio State, but they don't have anything brutal on the road. They host Oregon. I know that, for instance. And so their schedule is better. So we just have to kind of see, I think. But Jedd Fisch is safe. He's safe.
Yeah.
He has no issues.
It's how I feel though about the entire Big Ten schedule. Outside of no one has real high expectations against Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and Purdue's a joke. Northwestern's a joke. I mean, but everyone else is just kind of really competent and really capable. And it just feels like they're all kind of anyone can beat each other in that conference, and then somebody's just going to lose more of those games than they should, and they'll be on the hot seat.
Well,
or they might be gone.
Well, Ben, did we cover all the hot seat coaches?
Oh no, we haven't. Even, I had two more right in mind. Thinking of short straws, Lincoln Riley. We started off with the rant about the Notre Dame series.
And
Lincoln Riley.
Before we get that, I'd like, for those that missed my venting session, my apologies to the USC people and the Notre Dame people. Nothing personal. I just like seeing rivalries in all college football brought back. And again, in order to make up for my venting session on USC, I would like to tell everybody to tune in to USC at the Voice College Football, including the Coliseum Chronicles, which are Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, where you have Casey Casliner and Terrence Holton, where they go over their takes on the USC Trojans. Plus, you got Matt Zemek and Ethan Inman Wednesday nights on the USC Primetime Live Show. And I got to tell you, I don't really like going on TMZ or looking at TMZ, but when I do, I usually check out the stuff that Ethan Inman brings out.
Right. And Spaz, your stalker is back.
Oda cheerleader? Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh, I like the hand signal. They're like that. Like, I love it. That's so funny.
I don't know who this is, but
they were on the Tuesday show, and Spaz was like literally trying to figure it out the whole time. And I was like, I don't know. But cool.
It's somebody with another account. It's somebody that knows all of us too. So,
all right, but yeah, Lincoln Riley. This would be cool, Troy. You never know what can happen. But Lincoln Riley, outside of his Caleb Williams year, his first year at USC, where they still didn't win the Pac-12, they lost to Tulane. Outside of that, he really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
So, and
Jason,
the thing with him is that they owe him what do they still owe him? $90 million buyout? 80 to 90
Yeah, but here's the thing though. That didn't stop Texas A&M from firing Jimbo.
How do you know $90 million?
The universities are in different places financially, I think.
It's a lot of money though.
Honestly, USC. Oh, you got a lot. Oh, who's getting the kissy kiss from Oda cheerleader?
Oh, that's Spaz.
Dude, he looks no offense, Spaz.
Maybe it's your wife. I don't know who that is either. I have no idea. So I'm like,
oh shit. Sorry.
This is Spaz. Beat up Spaz.
No.
The I don't know. It's a lot of money, but USC has invested purposely in Lincoln Riley, obviously years ago, to do this. $100 million guaranteed. You know, the dumbass 10-year contract that no college should ever give coaches like that for that type of money guaranteed up front. Yeah, but now this year going in, they have right now the number one recruiting class. Now we can argue that about quantity necessarily over quality, because obviously they have like 28 recruits compared to the next class of like 10, or something like that. So of course they're gonna have the number one overall in that sense, but we can argue that on another day. But yeah, if he doesn't perform this year, and I don't want to hear Lincoln Riley come out and be like, we're like 3 plays away from being 10-1, 10-2, or 11-1. Like, I don't want to hear that. The point is you lost those games.
Honestly, it's like I said earlier tonight, where it's the Notre Dame game's not your issue. It's you choosing to join the Big Ten, where you have to travel to Penn State, you got to travel to Maryland, Minnesota, and the state of Indiana, not once, but potentially twice. So it's like, that's on you. But at the same time, you gotta make sure you take advantage of the opportunities, because like Michigan, we don't really know what state they're gonna be in, right?
Mm.
And you got Nebraska. We're gonna wait and see what happens. Iowa is a home game, so you better win that one. Illinois, you better make sure you win. Purdue, I'm going to be honest, Purdue looks like upset material. And the Big Ten has a sloppy slate for week 3. And what is the saying that is what happens when you have sloppy slates? Anyone? Upset are coming.
Yeah. Purdue could be interesting with Odom.
Write that 10 times each. When there's a sloppy slate, upsets are coming.
Yeah. Odom is not on anywhere near our list for anything, because obviously it's year 1 with Purdue, and that's a rebuild. But Purdue, that's definitely like upset.
It's your sister, Ben. I'm almost positive.
Well, don't ask me. She's after you, not me.
Don't be talking about that stuff out loud. Talk about it in the private chat, gentlemen. Okay.
Right? God damn.
No, I'm talking about the.
I know. We know who you're talking about, Spaz.
Anyway.
Hey, yes. Yeah, Lincoln Riley. Again, I'm just tired of. Personally, I'm tired of one. I mean, of course, Twitter Spaces, the X Spaces. Their nonsense of like, look what we got, blah blah blah. We're back on board, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, well, let's show it on the field. Show it on the field, because if you lose 5 or 6 games, again, you're nothing. This is why USC specifically did not want Oregon and Washington join the Big Ten with them, and then they had to watch Oregon go undefeated while USC is,
Well, UFC, where they go 4-5 last year in the Big Ten, lost to Maryland and Minnesota.
Well, USC they did win. They went 7-6, right? Wasn't it 7-6 overall? Because they won the bowl game.
Yeah,
yeah.
They beat a Texas A&M team in that.
Well, they beat LSU in the opener, and then A&M to close it in the bowl, which is pretty decent. I mean, that's not a bad win by any means. By any means, it's not a bad win. But they got to figure out everything else.
But like they were Darrell's nightmare last year, claiming SEC dominance. Hey, we're losing to freaking Maryland, and we're beating your best team, your second tier teams. Come on.
So Lincoln Riley has a tough year this year, I think, going forward. The other one was Deshaun Foster. Come on, how can you not think of Deshaun Foster for potential hot seats?
I mean, if you're having to fire Eric Bieniemy, that means something's up.
God, I mean,
that's a bold move during the season to fire your OC like Bieniemy. That was a bold move.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, Bieniemy was like, "Hey, I should be a head coach somewhere."
Should be an
NFL
high coach, right?
Yeah, and he couldn't even be an OC in college. Apparently, it was so complicated, or he couldn't like coach it to the staff. I don't know if he didn't have enough time or opportunity, but that was a bold move to fire Bieniemy.
Yeah. And they improved after he did. You
Yeah.
know? It was. I don't know. I mean, nothing much expected in UCLA. I mean, but I feel like Bieniemy was a fall guy when he was hired to be the head coach. It's just like we're not going to be competitive for a little while here. Let's retool and figure it out.
Yeah, the OC. But I mean, Deshaun Foster was kind of like it seemed like he was going to be the fall guy for UCLA because again, he was a player there, an alum. But he had never been like really even a position coach.
Right.
And then there was like Chip Kelly left. So he's like, yo, you. And I'm like, oh, dude. Oh, man. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
And they started working it out, though, the second half of the season.
It was kind of impressive. At the beginning of the year, they looked like they would just be like one of those just awful teams, like a layup win in the conference, and they weren't by year's end.
And
with
an OC change again too
during
the season, it was like that's pretty impressive. So actually, I give Deshaun Foster quite a bit of credit. What he'll do this year, though, he's not on the hot seat this year. But if they're not at least super competitive to bowling, like 6-6 this year, maybe the next year. But yeah, what is UCLA? His contract's got to be tiny.
Oh,
it's got to be so small.
I mean, UCLA, they're screwed, man. It's like if they don't get to a bowl or go 7-5, I don't see where Deshaun Foster's like. Honestly, it's not his fault, but unfortunately, he's the fall guy for the dumbass board members of UCLA because like they sat on their asses, right? Waiting to see, are we going to fire Chip Kelly? Are we not going to fire him? But then by the time February rolls around, the season is way over. And I believe we were like past the Super Bowl. Chip Kelly's like, okay, screw this. I'm going to be the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. That's bad. Yeah. That says more about your university than it says about your coach. You got your butt handed to you by Cal in the final game of the Pac-12 era. Well, the OG Pac-12 era, but you get what I mean. Like, still, you don't get your ass beat by Cal by double digits and then go, oh, cut me slack. And then they're like, oh, we're going to fire him. No, we're going to keep him. No, we're going to fire him. We're going to keep him. No. You make a decision right away. You don't keep people waiting.
Cal had done that or UCLA had done that for like 2 years with Chip Kelly, though.
Oh, I know.
It was like just a mutual back and forth between both parties to go, yeah.
And Cal's financial situation is going to be like a little bit different than we've experienced in the past. I mean, pretty soon we're going to enter a new era of college football where we actually care about buyouts. That hasn't been much of a thing recently. Like, it's been like, okay, it's been reported like the buyout's huge, but that's never really been an impetus, a factor about like whether a coach stays or not.
Well,
that might be different in less solvent universities, like the Cal system might be. Now.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear from UCLA and like USC, for instance, say like their money or whatever, because remember they joined the Big Ten, they're getting full share.
Yeah.
Whereas Washington, Oregon are only getting partial, and it's going to take like 6 years, 7 years to get the full on. So they're getting the full revenue share already.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear about them complain about money. That's their own freaking problem. Notice.
But it might not cover the incompetence on a lot of other different fronts. Like, this just.
Well, I know, but that's their own freaking problem. Then that's their own issue. The point is they're getting the full revenue share of TV and all that stuff. So everything else is on their end. But
Was there anybody else?
I'm scrolling through the teams and coaches here, and I'm trying to pick out specific ones.
Did you guys talk Dave Doran at all at NC State?
Yes,
I did.
Okay. He's been there a very long time, man. It's just been a lot of okayness.
Tom O'Brien got fired for going 7-5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Dave Doreen does get fired.
Yeah. I wouldn't either. I mean,
I like him, but I kind of feel like that winning streak against North Carolina is his saving grace.
right.
I guess the only one that really stands out as I'm scrolling through what we haven't talked about, because of being a newer coach, and so a lot of teams now are newer coaches. Hugh Freeze at Auburn, I think if they have a disaster of a season again, we've seen what Auburn does with coaches. If they have bad years, like one year,
they trade them like condoms.
Well, what wasn't Gus Malzahn was on the hot seat for like 7 years.
I know, but Gene Chizik won a national title, and 2 years later he was gone.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but I mean, Gus Malzahn was putting out like a decent program, like a pretty good team year after year, and they still just said, I don't know, until they just said, we're done.
He's the only one that really stands out to me as like, this is a guy that's he's definitely at risk of like full hot seat from the fan base, at least. If not the administration, the fan base will be calling for his head.
If Auburn is upsetting Georgia or Alabama or both of them, that really buys some time for Hugh Freeze a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the Gus Malzahn special, right? Pull out a gigantic upset over like one of those teams and then buy yourself some time.
I kind of feel like if Auburn sits out with Hugh Freeze, and I mean this, by the way, they can have a hell of a time with the Hugh Freeze era. I really think they can. Because, I mean, look at Bruce Pearl. The first 3-4 years were a disaster, right? Well, now he's the great, wonderful guy at Auburn basketball, and he's gotten them to Final Fours. So, there you go.
And I mean, like, Hugh Freeze has been putting together pretty good recruiting and transfer portal classes the last several years. So it's like, hey, you know what? I'm getting this part of the job right.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
It's just a matter of time until it all comes together. You can always sell that, and if anybody can sell anything, it's Hugh Freeze. I mean, the guy can.
It is. It's just, does it come together? And how long does Auburn give him the opportunity? The fan base, especially, because obviously, SEC, Auburn. I mean, it's tough, but he's definitely up there. It's funny when you're going through this list. I'm looking at all these teams. I'm going, man, half these coaches are gone. They're new or like their second year. Where it's like, yeah, they're not really at risk of it. He's a newer coach, obviously with Auburn, so that's why he's kind of making the list.
Did we touch on the Sharon Moore situation in Michigan?
We did. You were 2 hours late.
Yes.
Ass.
Give us another coach. Ask another coach, Sean.
Okay. What about Jonathan Smith, Michigan State?
We did.
Check.
You did? Okay.
He's gonna be like, shit, everything gone.
Give us.
No, I mean, like you guys are on top of it. You guys know. Yeah. What about Bill Belichick and his his concubine situation there?
Well, as of June 1st, if he decides to leave North Carolina at any point, he gets to pay a $1 million buyout.
No, isn't it just literally after this year? It's $1 million. It drops to $1 million.
No. It's from January until the end of May 31st. he would only have to pay a
Oh,
$10
good.
million buyout. But starting on June 1st at midnight,
That's what it was. Yeah,
around
that's
the
what it was.
clock,
It
this
drops to
year,
1 mil. 1 mil. Yeah.
I want his agent, honestly.
That's a sweet ass contract. That's a sweet ass. And he has a son in waiting to take the head coaching job.
Well,
Scott Belichick, right?
that
Scott?
CBS Sunday, that
Steve
CBS,
Belichick, whatever it is. Yeah, whatever.
yeah, that CBS Sunday morning interview that he did
Oh,
screwed him. That's
Ooh.
true.
Yeah,
Like-
we did talk about Napier though, beeping, but yeah, Belichick is an interesting. That's fascinating.
we
Did they just get
see a
engaged?
7 After Dark episode devoted to that 60 minutes interview with Belichick.
That's true. We should break down the whole thing, and then Belichick going, she has nothing to do with the football program.
Yeah,
That's
But of
awkward at
course-
home.
She's just interrupting. She's just stopping the program every time.
So, it sounds like Joe Biden over Joe Biden. Wait, that's a different topic too. Never mind. Moving on. Belichick. Let's go.
Yes.
But yeah, like North Carolina, I can tell you right now, if you don't want to only hear about Bill Belichick's like relationship status with Jordan, so to speak, and you want to actually hear about North Carolina football,
Who cares about North Carolina football when you have Bill Belichick and his
I don't care
50-year-old
about
younger
I don't
girlfriend?
care that he and Jordan like do whatever. I don't care. I want to hear about what North Carolina football is up to for 2025. And the best place for all of us is North Carolina at the Voice College Football Tuesday nights with Myron and Joel, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where they go over their takes on the North Carolina Tar Heels. Tuesday nights, all right here on North Carolina at the Voice College Football. Let's get that channel to 1,000 subs. And did we even promote Auburn at the Voice College Football? No, because you
No.
got to check. Because you got to check out the magic that Taylor Jones is bringing on there. Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, where he goes over the latest news and notes on the Auburn Tigers. All right there on Auburn at the Voice College Football. Stay tuned.
There we go.
I mean, if
yeah,
we're talking about like teams coaching hot seats, we might as well promote their channels just to kind of like soften the blow a little bit.
totally fair. Belichick is one. He's safe this year. He might be like a one and done, and then yeah, his son takes over. And hey, North Carolina paid him like $10 million to do it, so you know, whatever. Good on North Carolina. Hugh Freeze comment here.
You got yourself on 60 minutes. I mean, whatever college football program is doing that.
Yes, overpaying. Yeah, recruiting the flips. Yes. This is a good one, actually. It was from Jason O. Yeah, Brent Brennan. Way to absolutely destroy a team where the starting quarterback and drafted wide receiver
Top 2.
stayed, and you still screwed it up. How do you screw up a team of McMillan, the wide receiver of McMillan, and absolutely just wreck that team after Jed Fish left? Absolutely wrecked it.
See, I do kind of wonder what, like, Brendan at Arizona, where the expectations aren't necessarily the highest, like the football culture isn't necessarily like the most hostile, and the fact that he like did lift a really, really, really bad program, like one of the worst programs in college football, to respectability at San Jose State. I wonder if that will give him a little bit of leeway, like that combination of factors. But yeah, it wasn't a great year. I mean, like this was a team expected to contend to be in the playoffs and win a Big 12 last year, and they were very far from that.
Yeah, I mean, because you went from 10 and 2 or 10 and 3 rather. Sorry, after the bowl win with Jed Fish, to last year again where you kept your starting quarterback and your star wide receiver. You kept a lot of those guys, and you won 4 games in the Big 12. With all due respect, the Big 12 is very competitive. I'll give you that. Overall, like most of the teams are very competitive. with each other, but you were not just like losing something, you were getting blown out in a lot of these games. 49-7, 49-28, 56-12, 31-26. That's not too bad. 34-7, 41-19, 31-7. You were getting blown out in most of these games. Like you were absolutely getting destroyed. You know, like it was not funny even.
No.
Oh. What did Jareel say? No.
Yeah.
Jareel, go back to basketball. Go back to keep hoping for basketball season. Oh, okay.
Maybe if they lose to Kentucky, they'll consider moving.
It's true. We already had the Mark Stoops talk earlier.
But if you did want to hear about Georgia football, check out Georgia at the Voice College Football Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Matt Green, who is featured on the Chase Thomas podcast quite a lot. It's kind of like seeing Mark Rogers on the Michigan podcast quite a lot, but with Chase Thomas, but like a SEC version of it, so to speak. So check out Matt Green coming on the Chase Thomas podcast on a bi-weekly basis. But of course, check him out and check out Bo Underwood, where Matt Green and Bo Underwood bring that magic on Georgia at the Voice College Football. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Jareel brings up a good point here, though. Actually, right here is a good point.
Yeah.
Now, this is only if the NCAA, once again, would grow a pair and go, you have so many off-the-field issues, and somehow instituted the lack of institutional control against Kirby Smart or something. But that's not going to happen because they have no balls.
Bygone era.
Yeah, they have no balls. They have no balls. And Georgia makes too much money and brings in revenue and is too popular. It's not going to happen.
Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Don't look at it. Okay. I will not look at the chat.
It's done.
Oh my god. I don't even want to know what's on your mind, Jason, but
it's true. But it is true. It is true, though.
That's why it's so funny, because the truth is always so funny. Like, as they say, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
Put that to the chat. If Kirby Hooker is caught with 8 hookers and at least 3 of them are dead, is his job in jeopardy.
This is also a factual note. This is probably the first time the word "dead hookers" has come up on the Voice of College Football.
No, that's a shame. Like that's.
This is an achievement. What are you talking about? This is an achievement.
That's a blight upon us as a program that dead hookers have not come up until now.
This is a milestone.
Yeah.
Is there any other coaches we can think of? I mean, once we said there are so many that are new and safe, and year 2 even that you're kind of like, no.
But yeah, it's like doesn't even like some of them doesn't even matter. Like Ryan Walters at Purdue last year, we kind of knew like, okay, Purdue's going to be terrible and he'll probably get fired.
Yeah. Barry Odom was fine. You know, we're not dealing with Barry Odom. He's in rebuild. He's got to get there.
Yeah.
Stanford, Frank Wright is 1 year, allegedly 1 year, unless he does amazing or something like that. But he's just 1 year. He's just standing, no issues.
Ben, there's one thing you should never do in this lifetime, and that's doubt Frank Wright. Because what happens when people doubt Frank Wright? It never ends well for him. Oh God! Let's make Ben laugh again.
I'm fucking Troy, man. Oh, there's my F-bomb. There we go. It got it. Yep. That's what it did.
So you used the F-bomb.
That's a tension negotiation.
So 3 F bombs have been used on tonight's edition
Well,
of After
yeah.
Dark.
Mostly by you, Jackson.
I used 1 F bomb.
No, you had 2. It's taking me 2.5 hours to get through 1.
I think
You had
think it was
2.
1.
You had 2. You had 2 because I was like, damn.
I must have been pissed if I used 2 F
Yeah,
bombs.
you had 2. You had 2 like within like 40 minutes. I was like, geez.
Well, Spaz used an F bomb tonight, so I know,
know.
that's okay. That's 3.
I kept
And-
myself in check for the
Yep.
most part.
Well, it's what happens when it's what happens when college football rivalries are not being taken seriously. So it's like
Yeah.
that's my defense.
Ooh,
Yeah, how can we live without the backyard brawl?
I know, right?
Right.
I sound like a baby without the backyard brawl.
what about is this still I'm Googling it, but I can't type right now. So is it still Tony Elliott, Virginia?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
still at Virginia. He could
Yikes.
be a hot seat.
He's warm. He's warm. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
Gotta be warm.
Yeah, not a whole lot of progress at Virginia.
That
since-
non-con schedule is scary for Virginia. You got Coastal Carolina. You got to go to NC State. You got to play Washington State in the middle of October.
Wait, is NC State on their non-con schedule?
Okay. Yeah, we went over this with I hate the ACC where they do that because of the Notre Dame thing. So they have an ACC non-con game. I absolutely hate that. Like, how do you play someone in your own conference, but it doesn't count as a conference game towards a conference title? It's so stupid. I absolutely.
Well, it made a little bit of sense back in the days when they had just the 8-game conference schedule, and like they only had like one crossover game a year, other than their protected rivalry. So, like someone like Wake Forest and North Carolina, they only got to play each other once every 6 years. So it made sense to let's make that more frequent. But now, like NC State and Virginia, why is that a non-conference game?
Because
Is there any reason to make like, huh?
it's because the ACC doesn't want North Carolina State going to Appalachian State. That's why.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I just don't. I don't like it. This is the problem when you get to these every conference, mega conferences. Like it was just 4 years ago, 4 years ago. We were all like, "Man, the SEC sucks because you only play like you might literally go to college, say at LSU, and never play against this team while you're in college." And now everyone else has gone to this same thing where I think some are more. Now the SEC has tried to correct that with the pod thing and stuff like that. So you're going to alternate more, like same as the Big Ten. You're going to alternate more. But that was such a joke. But this being a non-con doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yep.
How dare you disrespect Stanford? How dare you?
Just as long as you're not disrespecting Frank Wright, I'm all good.
Or Andrew Luck.
Well, Frank Reich went to Maryland, didn't he?
Yes, and he led Maryland to a humongous comeback against Miami in 1985.
Yeah. For a while, he was the quarterback of the biggest college football and pro football comebacks of all time.
The 1993 AFC wildcard matchup against the Houston Oilers and NBC's was there's a guy that went to school with him at Maryland. He warned everybody, do not doubt Frank Wright. And I've been using that clip as a reminder. Don't ever doubt Frank Wright. And I would say my usual opinion about Jim Irsay, but I'm not really going to be talking smack about him because
Yeah, kind of.
he
Because
died
he
a few
died.
days ago. He went to go work for the Lord, so it's I can't be doing that. But when it gets a few months from now, I'll go back to I'll be flipping a coin whether if it's okay to trash Irsay or not. But I can trash David Tepper for being a moron and a clown and being a stupid moron who should just like leave the NFL, leave the United States of America. He's that bad. We don't want him.
I saw this today. James Franklin being at Vanderbilt, or today or yesterday, whatever it was. I don't take too much.
He
from
got
it.
tired of waiting for Maryland because he was the head coach at waiting. He was going to be the Nets head coach after Ralph Fregin, but for 2010, 2010, Franklin was like, I'm not going to sit and wait. I'm going to go to Vanderbilt. So Maryland fires Ralph Fregin, and they think they're going to get Mike Leach. A deal didn't work out, so instead they got Randy Edsall. So in conclusion, you're talking about today.
Today,
I thought you meant
No, he was there. He was there like today or yesterday.
I guess he wanted to reminisce on the 3 years.
He was at Vanderbilt. Yeah, he was in photos, and I didn't take much from it because I'm like, I mean, whatever. He has a connection to Vanderbilt.
yeah, he was a coach there for 4 years.
Give it a few months, Bean. I'll go back to saying my real thoughts on Jim Irsay. I'm just being I'm kind of throwing him a bone because he passed away. So it's like
it's like he was a good boy. We never had a problem. He was a good boy. I don't know why that came off so.
I was scrolling through my Twitter. I was scrolling through my Twitter to make sure I didn't see anything bad. But I know I had like a post where I talked about him like passing out drunk before making a decision on November 2022. But I'm just like, I'll wait later to delete that post. But it's like, it's somewhere in my archives. But I did run my mouth on him getting rid of Frank Wright. So
I think Frank Wright will do all right. I think he's what Andrew Luck wanted installed with Stanford, and whether he's a one and done or not, they bought themselves a year of a very quality proven coach at all different levels to at least come in and fill in,
Well, he's at least a good coach to kind of come in and make the program that's there as good as possible can be.
Yeah, stable.
It was so funny. Like when I was doing my Jack Sewing episode with Ruby Dreher Finley, the Troy Taylor firing happens. Now that was like the first time, like when doing an episode of any kind, whether it be with the Alabama channel or my personal channel, that a fire was happening while I was interviewing someone. I'm like, the hell? It's like, damn. It's like,
ooh.
But to be honest, like we did like make fun of not just Troy Taylor, but we did make fun of Florida's basketball coach because he was looking on his Instagram stories a little too much. Let's put it that way.
So is that voluntarily by being supposed to be meant ironically? Like
I was like voluntarily, like gently nudged out, resigning. Tired. Because I mean, you could look at. For instance, we haven't talked about
maybe.
That's more on his own to give his son. I think would be more than anything. I'm thinking when you look at nudged out is like Mike Gundy. We talked about gently being like, "Hey, not going great. Here's an administrative job if you leave." And he's like, "Okay, I'm just going to take my bow out." Kirk Ferentz, friends, we haven't talked Kirk Ferentz because he's not on a hot seat, but he's at that age where maybe he's like, maybe another not so great year. Maybe it's time to dip out gracefully.
Yeah, I mean, like could have the Mark D'Antonio treatment. Just be like, yeah, they're never going to fire me, but like things aren't going well.
Yeah, it's up to me, but it's the right time, but you kind of get
Yeah.
nudged out a little bit, you know. They open the door for you and you kick your own ass out, you know. Like,
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening with Ferentz. I don't know how eager the Iowa fan base is to move on.
I don't think I don't think they're that excited. I mean, I wouldn't be when you have a stable coach like that
Yeah.
who's been proven over time. You have your ups and downs. Everyone's going to have that with a long-term coach for the most part.
Right.
The unknown afterwards is like if Ryan Day quit tomorrow, you'd be, as Ohio State fans might be going, shit. I mean, that's how Iowa would be. They'd be like, well, what are we going to get after this?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
but at the same point, like you know, if you're in a certain type of program, you're at the state program, like it'll probably work out. Like if Iowa like just fumbles the Kirk Ferentz firing, they could be like one of the worst programs in the Power Four.
Well, that's the risk you take.
I'll tell you a coach that I think could voluntarily leave, Kyle Whittingham, regardless of how the season goes, because
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he just like truly, like legitimately, no irony intended. He
is basically retirement one age, and he's been there so long, and he's already named his successor. So it's just when he wants to step down, basically. And I think he wants one more redemption year.
Yeah.
And then I think he will be done. That's why I didn't bring up Whittingham earlier, because I was like, he's not on the hot seat.
No.
It's more when he wants to step down. Basically.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty much earned that goodwill with Utah, so it's like he's fine.
We should have told USC fans to plug their ears when you mentioned Utah.
Well,
we need to warn Barry from the Voice of College from Alabama show the other night when we were talking about.
Man, Thursday night was wild. I'll tell you what. Like Sean will tell you. But Morgan Scaley, I believe, will be the next head coach for Utah.
He's already tabbed as the next coach in waiting, basically. He's already tabbed.
And that's the type of program I would be very surprised if they broke from that protocol.
Yeah, he's been there. He's been there quite a good time, quite a good amount of time. So it seems fitting that he would be the successor, especially after OC stepped down this last season. Crap, what is his name?
Who?
It was the OC. He was going to go to Penn State. Then he didn't. And then he stepped down this last season after the whole Cam Rising re-injury issue.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually,
at Utah.
to Notre Dame. It was
Notre Dame. It was Notre Dame or
Ludwig.
Ludwig. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I could not remember his
I wouldn't say the world's going to hell, Adam Lamprell, because you got magic. I wouldn't say the world's going to hell because you make it magical with gay pickup on Rutgers at the Voice of College Football Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And let's go ahead and put
that is the only thing that is making life worth living right now. Adam Lamprell and Rutgers at the Voice of College Football.
Such positivity coming from the Rutgers channel there.
Yeah.
Such positivity. I don't know why. The only other coach I can think right now off the top of my head that is in a very dire situation, I don't know why. Northwestern.
He'll be fine. David Braun's fine.
It wasn't good last year. I don't know.
He did such good fill-in there that first year.
Yeah.
He did such a good job. Last year was such a disappointment. If this year was something similar, I know they've invested so much in building up their new stadium. You know, obviously they have that weird dynamic
They're
thing
not
going on.
They just need to get to a bowl game. That's all they're thinking about. They're not sitting there thinking about Rose Bowl or the playoffs. They're thinking about bowl eligibility. That's what Northwestern's thinking about.
Well, that's why he wasn't on anywhere near my top of my list.
I
by
still
any
cannot
means.
believe Northwestern Oregon's a Big Ten conference game. Like it's like
Week three at Northwestern in the
At
weird
some
field.
So where's that game going to be played? That's not going to be
that's
at,
at Northwestern.
but it's not going to be at Wrigley,
It's
is it?
It's a
Martin
side field or whatever they're doing. I think.
yeah,
isn't it?
Martin Stadium. That's the temporary facility.
That would be that'd be a good place to catch an Oregon game.
That's basically a home. That's basically a home game for Oregon. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, Oregon's probably got a reasonable fan base in the Chicago area. I don't know for sure, but
I mean, it has to equal Northwestern's.
yeah.
Yikes!
But yeah, it's like I'm curious to see what Northwestern can bring. But anywho, any more
Nah,
coach?
David Braun's he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
Northwestern is loyal to coaches. Let's put it that way. They're going to have their up and down years. It's a Northwestern, even before Big Ten days for us. Northwestern was Northwestern. That's just how we always looked at Northwestern. So it has nothing to do with Big Ten.
They were like the worst program of the worst power program for several decades in a row. Like they were by far the worst. If you go by their winning percentage.
Well, Ben, I think we've got all the coaches covered.
Troy, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, they're basically played in the Joliet Catholic parking lot.
Oh man. Yeah,
Not in the stadium, just
I do think we've covered actually a lot of the coaches. Obviously, we didn't go G5. That's a little harder, but a lot of the G5 teams also had newer coaches too. So it's kind of that's a much deeper dive. This is just the Power Four.
quick note, just for my amusement only. Jackson, Scott Satterfield. What's it take to get rid of him?
oh, if he's going sits and sits or less, he's out.
There we go.
7-5 vote of confidence. 8-4, good enough. You built yourself goodwill. 9-3, 10-2, 11-1. You've really built
extension.
goodwill.
There we go.
Yeah.
But he's not that good. That's just a reminder for Cincy.
Yeah.
You got a loser in Scott Satterfield.
I don't disagree.
Quiet, Adam. That's a good point though about the Northwestern game. I know Adam wants us there for the Rutgers game in Jersey, but the Northwestern game might be an interesting one to go to week 3. That'd be pretty interesting.
There we go. All righty. I think we got everybody covered.
We touched about a lot of different coaches. Some that were not on my list at all, but the chat brought them up, and we talked about them. We went over it, whether we agreed or disagreed. Like they brought Deion Sanders, for instance. We disagreed, but we talked about it. We went into it. So, yeah. Other than that, is there other news or information we want to talk about? We talked about the USC Notre Dame rivalry ending. We went on a rant about a couple other things. I don't really recall what they were. That was 3 hours ago, and we went over a lot of the Power 4 coaches that are on the hot seat or will be in 2026 if they don't have a good year this season.
Well, we are now 89 days until week 0. 94,
Kill me.
94 days until the start of week 1, 95 days till Auburn, Baylor, Colorado, Georgia Tech, 96 days until week 1 Saturday, 97 days till Notre Dame, Miami, Virginia Tech, South Carolina, and 98 days until the start of the Bill Belichick era in Chapel Hill between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the TCU Horned Frogs. That is your latest update because we are now in midnight at 1 a.m. in Sean's time zone, I believe. Is that correct?
1:34 right now.
12:35 a.m. here. Let's go holidays. Let's go.
Well, Ben, what magic have you got cooking on Exploring with Ben and Salmon on Oregon at the Voice College Football, good buddy?
Exploring with Sam? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing until we plan some stuff. The Oregon channel will be live on Wednesday.
Oh man, it's like you said the Bad Dogs were on the first hour, right? Last night, Sean, Exploring with Ben and Sam, right?
Well, that was a live stream. That's different. But...
Oh man,
go watch it. But yeah, as the Oregon channel, we will be on Wednesday, and we will have a topic to discuss. I haven't thought about that much. Again, right now I can't type, so I will be getting out the next article on the voiceofcollegefootball.com coming up, but I can't type right now, so
check out the magic that Ben's cooking up on the articles on the Voice College Football.
Off season is always fun because you got to come up with topics, because especially now we're in the dead period, essentially. So yeah, all teams are kind of just sitting around going, almost football season, almost. We're getting there.
There you go, and let's help Ben get to 5,000 subs on his personal channel. Let's get him paid up. There we go. Sean, what magic have you got cooking up on X and Blue Sky?
Well, hopefully not much of it on the digital front, but I will be sunbathing very heavily tomorrow on the shores of Lake Michigan. Haven't decided yet whether I'm going up to Saugatuck or Muskegon tomorrow, but I will be on the beach soaking in as many rays as I possibly can, possibly playing some disc golf in the way, and maybe some beach volleyball.
I am sorry for those other beachgoers having to watch your body.
Oh God. Yeah, you haven't seen my golden rays yet. Come on.
I hate it when people watch me eat. Like, that's the thing I don't like.
I hate that too. I absolutely hate that. I'm okay with, like, I'm in a restaurant and you're just at a table with one other person that you know, or like somebody, but when it's like people walk up and like, and you're like, I don't, stop watching me. I hate that.
I know, right? It's like it's not.
Jason.
So yeah, I mean, this is the fun part of the year. This is the part of the year where it pays to live where I live, so I'm going to enjoy it. Okay,
it's the only time of year you have.
Right.
I lived in North Dakota. I know. There's only like a month and a half of like actual usable time.
But you also, like, you didn't have like an ocean to go to.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah.
An ocean of fresh water.
Yeah,
so that's good. So I'm going to enjoy it. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow, and beyond that, who knows? I may be hitting up the Kendrick show in Detroit in a few weeks. So let you know if I go to that. There we go.
You know where to find him.
But see, the problem is now, like, half of the audience is going to be disappointed when I don't go.
Or when they see you.
Well, I mean, they're they will be hysterical, but the other one will we came all the way here.
I'm still waiting for that first person to like walk up random and be like, "Yo, hear that ass from the fucking show?" There's my second F bomb. I will find it hysterical because I'll be like, "Who?" And just act dumb. But yeah, it'd be so funny.
You may find this hard to believe. I've had 3 different people stop me and ask me if I was who I was from the show before.
Well, cheerleader. If you
Like
want to
I'm like, what kind of life do you live?
Oh,
Well, if you want to give Spaz a follow, ODUT cheerleader, check him out on Sean_SpazDrag on X and give him a follow on Rocky Classic on Instagram.
I still don't know who this is. I still have no idea. They came on Wednesday.
I like
night.
the little hand signal that's got the duck has. Like, I like this a little better, but that's just me. But I do like this. It's pretty cool.
I still don't know who that is.
Because I can tell you that, I mean, like the bad bitch pose is awesome. But I can tell you this. Here's what bad bitches do. They check out the voice of college football on X, Instagram, and TikTok, Facebook, where they get top-notch discussion, debates, analysis with no off-season. I can tell you right now, you're in for a wild ride.
All right. Well, Jackson, where can people follow you? And then we got some business to take care of, don't we?
Yes, we did. They could check me out on the 39th edition of Crimson Tide Live, where instead of having it on Mondays per usual, we moved it up to Sunday because of it being Memorial Day. And it just didn't feel right having the co-host working on Memorial Day. It's like, me, I don't mind it, but it's like, I don't want anybody else having to worry about like, oh, are we doing a show on this day or that day? It's like, it's just not right. So I was like, you know what? Let's move it up to this day or that day. But anyway, we talked a lot about recruiting updates, how a 9-game conference schedule could benefit or hurt Alabama, and much, much more. You can check me out on Alabama with the Voice of College Football Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and on the Alabama Call-In Show, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where Jeffrey and I take your calls. And you can check out my latest Jacksonian episode with Justin Jolka, the co-host of the Bucky Report, where we talked a lot about the Wisconsin Badgers. And you can like, comment, subscribe to my personal channel, Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 329 subs away from the magic number 1,000. I'll need all the help I can get to 1,000 subs. But on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, we are 11 subs away from 2,600 subs. We are 411 subs away from the magic number 3,000. Now, Texas made the playoffs. They're the last SEC team in the playoffs. That doesn't mean they're truly better than Bama. No. You want to show, if you really don't like Texas, Oklahoma, but you like Alabama, or if you don't like Alabama, but you dislike Texas and Oklahoma more, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to Alabama with the Voice of College Football so you never miss another video or episode whatsoever. And don't forget to tune in for our take on Xavier Crowell for June 26th. Is he going to commit to Alabama? Is he not committing? It doesn't matter, because we're going to go over our reaction to Xavier Crowell on June 26th. And for more updates on what I've got going on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, or on the Jacksonian, or once a week on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on X/Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. Or if you don't like ads or Instagram, check me out on Jackson Johnson 97 Blue Sky Social on Blue Sky, where my friend Mike Debate has said where the skies are blue. Some say that's where the skies are overcast. But if you want to check me out on Blue Sky, well, there it is. You can check me out here. You can check me out there, everywhere. I'm like Ash Ketchum. I catch them all.
That is the most impressive thing about the show. Jackson running through his promotions, because I couldn't. I just couldn't.
Well, it takes a lot of practice, and to
Yeah.
tell you the truth, I practice a lot.
Yeah, he flows through that like smoothly. I'm like, couldn't do it.
Well, of course, we got the Voice College Football Eds count.
The vape's not going to help you.
Huh?
That vape is not going to help Ben flow through.
I'm old now too. So I mean, jeez.
Well, his left hand's hurting. So here I come to save the day. Check out the Voice College Football @Twitter account where you can get top-notch discussion, debate, and analysis with no off-season. Our guy Garrison doing that interview with Ohio State O-lineman Luke Montgomery. And it was so awesome that you got Steve Hellwagon for Buttnuts 247 giving his take on the interview. And it was a wild, beautiful ride. Let me tell you, it was awesome. You got Johnny Burt's coach himself, Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports, and myself breaking that fourth wall, that 16th wall, the 64th wall, the 256th wall on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. And you got that Sunday schedule for the day. Come on and feel the noise with Ben and friends on After Dark Sunday nights, all right here at the Voice College Football. The Tyler Boys on Florida at the Voice College Football, but Tyler Whitfield went solo today because Tyler Natino went on vacation for Memorial Day. But either way, you know how you see Mike and Mike bringing that magic? Well, it's Tyler and Tyler on Florida at the Voice of College Football. Got the Voice College Football Instagram account where it's magical all over the place. The Indiana Hoosiers projected offense. You're in for a wild ride. And of course, you can follow the Indiana account for the Voice College Football. You got the Nebraska projected offense. Look, Fresno State, Pittsburgh, where dreams go to die for top 25 teams in all college football. And you got the Voice of College Football TikTok account where you see Sean McDonough throwing out his puberty voice when the Michigan Wolverines had that block punt, that muffled punt against the Michigan State Spartans. Yep, there you go. Because like when you think of Sean McDonough, you think of the 1992 NLCS Game 7, Braves Pirates, the 93 World Series Game 6 between the Blue Jays and the Phillies. You got the 2009 Big East semifinals between Connecticut, Syracuse, and one of Sean McDonough's greatest calls of all time, where he calls the 2015 Michigan State matchup on ESPN 10 years ago, where Michigan State beat the Michigan Wolverines at the Big House on ESPN. And let me tell you something, Michigan fans, you're not going to be depressed. You're not going to be depressed from seeing that. I can tell you, we don't know how long TikTok's going to be in the US of A. We don't know if it's still here or there. We don't know. But while TikTok is here, check out the Voice of College Football TikTok, where it's got top-notch college football stuff. Give some ideas. I can tell you right now, we will take them for sure. And finally, the Voice of College Football Facebook, where you got Mark Rogers and friends. Mark and Cam bringing that magic on Miami at the Voice College Football. And don't forget to celebrate the 6-year anniversary of Buckeyes Live with Mark Rogers, Steve Hellwagon, and Tony Girdman as they go over their favorite memories of doing Buckeyes Live for 6 years with all of you. Just check it out. Check out Wednesday's edition of Buckeyes Live, where it's actually the day before the 6-year anniversary of Buckeyes Live. You're going to want to check it out. That I could guarantee. There's Indiana Hoosiers Live. There's Mark and Leanne bringing the magic on the move. Ethan Inman and Matt Zimick. And I repeat, I don't like TMZ. But when I do, I check out the magic that Ethan Inman creates over there. And I love the magic that Matt Zimick creates on Trojans Wire, College Sports Wire, the Voice of College Football for the website, and on USC at the Voice College Football Wednesday nights on USC Primetime Live.
Fantastic. I have to address B-Bean. I'm not laughing at Jackson. I was laughing at Troy's comment. And then Sam came in the room, so I went off camera for a moment. The cashiers at Kroger like, oh shit, here comes a history lesson.
But
You
but,
know-
but the cashiers at Publix, like they shut down all their registers and just say, "It's only this gentleman."
Oh man.
Well, note to
What do the
self,
cashiers at Safeway do when Jackson shows up?
Oh. They don't have Safeway in Alabama that I'm aware
Well-
of. I haven't seen a Safeway. Good lord. When was the last time we even saw a Safeway? I haven't been up north in a while. That's a northern store.
Yeah.
uncomfortable amount of Sean McDonough knowledge. Well, you got to know the broadcasters, man. Like that's the job. That's the thing.
That was Jackson snorting. Someone mentioned I snorted earlier. That was Jackson snorting, and it just happened again. I remember that comment.
This too funny. Yeah, I didn't know there was a comment about that. That was all.
It was like a couple hours ago. I just remember it because I was like, that wasn't me. But I just ignored it. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, it depends. Oh, God. They sports smoke. Oh, God.
This is the most degenerated show on the network.
They like snorters at the Piggly Wiggly.
No.
I mean, probably it's the Piggly Wiggly, isn't that what happens there? A bunch of snorting. You can take that in different ways. Snorting, you can.
I can't.
What are you snorting?
recall
Powdered
the
sugar
last
or
time.
other things? But
I don't think I've
The
been
booger
at
sugar.
Piggly, but I do need to. Hey, that's a good sponsor idea for each the teams.
Booger sugar.
Piggly
I
Wiggly.
don't think they can technically sponsor us legally. The booger sugar.
was a good. Does Piggly Wiggly still exist? That is a good
Well,
question.
I haven't been in the South in a few years, so I would guess it does, but
I'm sure there are still some, maybe not to the extent that it used to be.
no.
I've
Costco's taking
never,
over.
I've never been to a Piggly Wiggly, just for reference, or a what's the other one? The big southern late night breakfast place.
A Waffle House.
Never been to a Waffle House.
Yeah,
Never.
We do
been to
have
one.
Winn-Dixie's, yes, but
yeah. But wait, Jackson might illuminate us on this. Are there Piggly Wigglies still in the like Huntington, Montgomery, or whatever area? you're in?
oh yeah, I know there's one in Arab or Marshall County.
Okay.
Oh, they have Safeways. What? I've never seen a Safeway, and I've driven through Alabama and too many abandoned areas in that state, and I've never seen a
man.
Safeway.
Are we ready for this part of the show where we guys say we ready?
That we're firing ourselves.
No. The best part of the show, the end of the show.
Oh, well,
Whose turn
so,
is it?
So we're
to say
firing
that-
ourselves. We're firing ourselves.
No, whose turn is it to say the famous catchphrase?
I don't know. I guess the key thing is we'll be back in 2 weeks. Have a good topic to talk about during this off season that we get in the dead season, especially. We'll make it fun and interesting. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
I'll have my Lindy's preseason magazine by then.
There you go. Yeah, we'll have something to talk about. I haven't even thought about it yet, so we'll have something in a couple weeks coming up. So everyone in the chat, appreciate you.
We breaking
Thank
down the
you.
Merrimack schedule.
No, maybe in 2 weeks we'll be taking a live chat polling on our new team to follow.
Okay.
Maybe.
South Dakota
maybe,
State.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, that's too easy. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. We got to dig deep for
We're,
this
we're,
one.
we're not front runners here on this show. If we're anything else, we're we dig really deep.
Yeah, we gotta go in depth with this one. Yeah, I'd say about 2 weeks, and then we'll figure out the schedule as the summer goes on, especially coming up media days. That's when stuff's
Right.
gonna start coming up.
It's
We'll figure out.
summer, man. Where do we begin?
You know what? Here, I actually have something available. So what I'll do is, once again, everyone in the chat, thank you. Appreciate you guys being here. Everyone watching later on, if you make it this 3 hours and 15 minutes in, you're a psychopath, and I appreciate that. We all do here at the Voice of College Football. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. So for the outro, I will flip a coin. I have a quarter here. So
Well,
Jackson,
while Ben's doing that, let's get the Voice of College Football to 100,000 subs, everyone.
That's it.
right. So
Create your
Jackson,
stock puppet accounts. You know, invite your friends and family.
damn right.
There you go.
Jackson, you'll be heads. Sean, you'll be tails. How about
Okay.
that? It's only a fair way to do it, right? That's how we start a
Yeah,
game.
that's fair.
And I dropped it. And I dropped it, of course. All right, let's do it one more time. I probably won't catch it this time.
After dark appropriate.
Oh, God.
It is tails.
All right. Is this me?
So there you go. Sean, give us the honors.
Pop-Tart. Play us out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, he's going deep on that one. Yeah. Oh,
Man, I can't
that's
wait
good
for
form. That's very good.
We need to do Pop-Tart gifts, though.
I know, right?
It's got double. They got to have 2 Pop-Tarts doubling up on that boy.
Oh, God.
Whoa.
Oh,
Woof.
my God.
Woof.
Oh, God.